Good morning, party people. So today we're going to be well, I guess you and I, it's kind of vaguely sort of collaborative. Mihao says hello. Good morning. Or hola, technically, says hola this morning. So this morning I'm going to be working on live coding the first responder kit. So we keep the updates in GitHub. You can go and download stuff with collaborative development, open source, all that kind of thing. So what I'm going to give you is a rough idea of what the release process looks like. I tend to spend about, good morning, sir. Or, yeah, I presume Gaurav, I know is, good morning, sir. I tend to spend, I don't know, between like 4 and 8 hours a week. Eamon says good afternoon. That's true over in Saudi Arabia. What's the time over in Saudi Arabia now? It's like 5 a.m. in San Diego. You'll see the color, the windows change too. This is 5 a.m. here in San Diego, and of course this will get much lighter here over the span of the next couple hours. And I'm going to spend a few hours working on the first responder kit, doing patches, adding features. In this episode, I'm going to be using SQL Server Management Studio on Windows. Normally, it's not actually how I work. I actually do most of my coding these days over in the Mac side, and I use GitHub Desktop on the Mac side, Azure Data Studio. I connect to a SQL servers that I just have up in the cloud. But I'm going to stick with Windows and SSMS and GitHub Desktop there just because I think that that's where most of y'all are at. Like if I took a poll, I bet, and I should ask you, like what percentage of y'all, how many of you do your daily coding in Windows versus over on a Mac? And then how many of you use Management Studio as opposed to Azure Data Studio? Microsoft is kind of like signaling that Azure Data Studio is the new place to go for coding T-SQL. It's still not, I don't think it's not as good as Management Studio yet for some of those tasks. Like there's GitHub integration, which is better than SSMS, but it's still not great. And the big problem that I run into over in Azure Data Studio is execution plans. They're good enough by all means, it's just they're not amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and see how it goes. So I will switch over to my desktop. And the way that I'm going to be working through this morning, I haven't really gone in and looked. Eamon says it would be better seeing you live code on ADS. I'm looking at doing it soon. But it's one of those things where my workflow on it is really optimized for a 4K or a 5K monitor, and it's hard to stream with that. Like y'all would be looking through magnifying glasses trying to follow me. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that work at 1080. Eamon says I'm using 18.5 on Windows. Mihao says 17 on Windows. And then Bartholomew says Windows and ADS and VS Code for me. So I'm going to guess, Bartholomew, you're probably a developer too as well. Or like more developer than database administrator, if job descriptions mean anything these days. So let's go take a look over in the first responder kit. So if you want to follow along, I'm going to throw the URL. Oh, Michael says, I think you should change the name of the Twitch. If you refresh, it's updated. If you refresh, it's switched over to watch Brent code T-SQL. So it is the browser, the URL, firstresponderkit.org. If you go to firstresponderkit.org, this is the GitHub repo for the first responder kit. This is where I'm going to be working through issues. I know just that there are a bunch that have come in, so I'm going to kind of triage and figure out which ones I want to work on. The monthly release is going to go tomorrow, which is actually we're 1 month behind. I normally try to get a release out every month, and I missed April. I just had so much going on. So we're going to do the release tomorrow, so I'm kind of picking and choosing which ones I want to focus on most. Okay, I want to fix Blitzlock shows a heap and a table with a clustered index. I don't want to open up there though. I did when I start coding. I try to find things that are relatively easy to fix. So let's see here. There is check for a logical file name of master in user databases. Is your feature request related to a problem? There's a problem occurs when I fail over a failover clustered instance when a user database has a file with a logical name master. Get out of here. So let's see. So they link to something or link to a blog from Jeff, the Desert DBA, who writes good stuff. Now he says a failover can't serve two masters. I'm just going to go down and try and figure out what he's talking about. We had a user database with a logical file name of master. Here's how it was explained. When you upgrade a node of a cluster with a service pack, CU, GDR, whatever, to a different version, SQL Server has to run some scripts in the master database. And here's the SQL used to find master. Oh, let's go. That sounds amazing. Let's go take a look and see. So let's see what SQL Server's doing here. Okay, so it didn't return any results, so I think that that's actually wrong. So it says, looking at this logical file name in sysmaster files, master sysmaster file. Okay, so let's try something else here. Let's try select star from master sys master files, and let's see what comes back out of there altogether. So my guess is, see how it says where name equals master? So that should have come up with, it's looking for master. Oh, because the T-SQL used didn't return the didn't return the variable. Okay, I get it. So let me go change that real quick. So let's go see what it discovered. Data dir name. Okay, so that's why things would be a problem. Okay, so if I create another database where the name, the logic, or I create another file named master, it looks like it'll break. So let's do that. In order to create a file, I'm going to just go right-click on databases, or in order to create a database, because I want to be able to drop this database when it's over. We'll call this can't serve to masters. And then for the database name, oh, thank you, Frozen Swede. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. So logical file name, we're going to change that to just plain master. And I'm going to hit script to script it out just to make sure if something goes wrong that I can go back and play around with it. All right, so let's go execute that. Now I have another database, can't serve to masters. And let's see what Microsoft's diagnostic script comes back with now. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it broke. Because what Microsoft did, I'm assuming, I'm just taking Jeff at his word, and I should copy paste this URL out into the chat so that y'all can go paste that in and go see. So what I'm guessing the reason that this is a problem, and Jeff's blog post probably talks about this, is that they really should say a lot more than just go get me one where the file name equals master. It should also say like top one order by database ID, but obviously I can't fix Microsoft's upgrade scripts. So this is the problem that they're worried about inside the GitHub issue. Let's see if they contributed any code in this. Hermholtz says they would like a warning in SP Blitz when it sees that. People can live without it, but it would catch a time-consuming issue before it happens. I'm not sure if I've got skills for that. Well, as it turns out, I do. That's about all I have skills for. Wow, it actually looked like I had muscles there. What kind of a distortion thing is that? Maybe that's why they pose the way they do. I have no muscles. I also have no tan. So let's see. Let's assign this to myself. So assign it to myself. We'll put on a label of this is an enhancement. This is in SP Blitz. This will be included in this month's release. And now let's go code it. So to code it, I'm going to go start a new branch in GitHub Desktop. I've got GitHub Desktop installed. I'm going to minimize everything else just so that I can kind of make this more sensible for y'all. So I've got GitHub Desktop here. So let's go see. I'm going to make sure that I've fetched the latest branch of the first responder kit, and I'm going to go create a new branch. I'm going to hit Control B to go start a new branch. And the way that I like to name my branches is with the issue number that I'm working on. So this is issue number 2352. Eamon says, are there any issues in databases with the data file created without the extension MDF? No, you can name them MP3, PDF. I've done all kind of like rename my databases as XC during demos in order to make people laugh. You can do any file extension that you want. The file extension is totally irrelevant, so that's okay. Now, I say that the only time where it is relevant is virus scans. So if you have a virus scan set up to do an exclusion on MDF and LDF files, for example, you would run into problems if you named your database something else. That's why there's a whole KB article from Microsoft just on antivirus exclusions in SQL Server, so that it also catches not just MDF, LDF, but also NDF, trace flags, all kinds of other stuff. So I have the skills for that. Let's go do it. It is issue number 2352. We'll switch back over to GitHub. I'm going to call it new rule for database, or rule for master database names. It says thank you, you're welcome. Go create a new branch for that. And now I have in my local machine, I have a folder with the first responder kit. This is where I've got GitHub pointed at here. So let's go open up SP Blitz in there, and let's go see if we can code a fix for that. So let's go take SP Blitz. I try to do things in visual ways like drag and drop when I'm working on a webcast instead of using keyboard shortcuts. So the way that SP Blitz works is it has a temp table called Blitz Results. Let me find Blitz Results. And every check, if you go through and do a search for the keyword tour stop, I've actually got a tour where I walk you through SP Blitz's code start to finish, explaining Brent's terminal is broken. Usually in any given day, pretty much everything on my Mac is broken in one way or another. So the way that it works is that I have, where the hell did my mouse go? There it goes. First world problems. So I have this temp table called Blitz Results, and the way that checks work in SP Blitz is they just check for something to be present, like we're going to go look for files named master. And then if there is one, it goes and writes a row into the Blitz Results table. So to do it, I try to add new checks at a certain place in SP Blitz. I'm going to say check user database objects. So down, a little further down, way down. There, keep going down a little bit further. And I don't usually run SSMS at a font size this large. I just tend to do this when I'm coding on webcasts. So here's a portion of SP Blitz, like 6,000 lines in, where we say, if check user database objects is turned on, go do things inside user databases. This check isn't actually inside user databases. It's something that we run from sysmaster files, just going based on that query that Jeff had in his blog post here. I can just query this. So I don't have to loop through the databases. Here comes my first decision. I have to make a decision about whether or not I consider this part of check user database objects. Check user database objects is a flag that people can turn on. For example, if you're hosting a SharePoint or Dynamics server, you may not care about anything that's inside the user databases because you can't do anything about them. I would consider this one of those checks, because if you can't control the user, actually no, I don't. Because if you patch the entire SQL server, that's where it's going to go to hell in a handbasket. Okay, so we're going to do this in the main server checks, which is right up above here. I'm going to add it up here. Now I'm going to copy paste one of the existing checks just to make my life a little bit easier. Let's go grab another check and copy paste it out. Copy. And come down to, John says line 5848 and you're still not at the end. Yeah, no, this thing, I forget how many lines long it is. I'm going to guess it's like 8,000 or 9,000 lines long right now. And you'll see why here as I go and paste in a new check. Boom. Every check is like, 30, 40 lines. Richie's seen my code. Okay, so the first thing that we do whenever we add a new check is we go to check the skip checks table. This is a temp table where you can go put in a list of checks that you want to skip on an instance. We're going to check to see if this particular check we're about to start has been skipped. I need a check ID for it. Whenever we add a brand new check to SP Blitz, all of the checks are documented over, I know, right? Documented over in the documentation files here. See this, there's a list of SP Blitz checks by priority. I'm going to open this just with Notepad, not a markdown editor. It says, okay, the current high check ID is 233. If you want to add a new one, start at 234. Perfect. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go add a new one. So mine's going to be 234. So I'll edit this file to say now the next one is 235. I got to come up with a priority for it, like how urgent is it? Well, if it breaks patching, that's probably pretty urgent. I'm not going to say that it's like a priority 1 through 10. These are things that where, stuff's about to go horribly sideways. But if I go a little further down, there are a bunch of checks in the, priority 20 and priority 50 type ranges. Was it? So here's 20. Dangerous build of SQL Server due to corruption or security. It's an unsupported build of SQL Server. I don't think it's quite that bad. Let's go a little further down in terms of priority. So the 50s. Okay, here we go. These are kind of useful. I have DBCC write page was not. Eamon says will not get you fired. Yeah, so 50 is the, I kind of joke in my training classes that priority 1 through 50 is roughly the stuff that should get you fired. I don't know that this should really get you fired either. When I look at the stuff in 50, like possibly broken log shipping, I'm like, I don't know that it's really that urgent. Let's go down to the 100 area. So 100 reliability, there's a cumulative update available. I think that probably matches in that section. Let's put it in there. So let's say it's priority 100, and we're going to say we got to come up with a name for it. Database name may, or well, I'll say patch may break. SQL Server, how about this? SQL Server update may break. SQL Server update may fail. Yeah, I like that. For the URL, I'm going to use Jeff's blog post. I'm going to use the link that he put in, or the link that was in the GitHub post about how a failover can't serve two masters. I'm going to copy that out of there and then go paste that into here. You'll find that most of the updates point to BrentOzar.com, not because it's really like some kind of master plan, but it's just because usually if I have to add a check to SP Blitz, I want to give people a place to go to learn about that check whenever it fails. Now, there's a place to go learn. That's Jeff's blog post. Might as well get that done. So there's that one. Our check number was 234, if I remember right. So let's save that. Let's go back up and make sure I had the right number, 234. Perfect. All right, so we got our check number. Our new check number is 234. Eamon says, do not update until you check this. Yeah, I don't want to put the full, I don't want to put like a whole details. We'll put details in here in a second. I'll show you where like long text details go inside the details column in SP Blitz. So in here, the whatever the previous check was is checking to see if it was evaluation edition. I don't have to worry about that, so I'm going to simply delete that out. Now I'm doing check number 234. Let's go edit some of the text of what we're looking for. So we said SQL Server update may fail. Did I say it was fail or break? It's 100. SQL Server update may fail. And let's copy Jeff's blog post out of there. SQL Server update may fail. That's the wrong Alt tab. So here's our URL. Now, I'm going to return one line for each database file that has a name of master. So let's go back over to our diagnostic query, and here's the diagnostic query that Jeff caught inside here, or the query that Microsoft runs when it goes to check databases. It's going off of sysmaster files. Let's come back over here and put that in. So paste. Let's make this over here. Let's get our formatting kind of nice. Somebody use spaces. In the endless battle for tabs versus spaces, I switched over to tabs when somebody said that visually impaired people who use screen readers tend to prefer tabs over spaces. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I don't know if it's true. I've never used a screen reader, obviously. I never like doing a table name without an alias, so I'm going to put F inside there. So we have where F name equals master. This will give us all the databases who have a name of master. I just also need to skip the master database itself. So when I write checks looking for system databases, what do I think about inside here? Let's go write one real quick. Let's say select star from master sys master files. How can I exclude the master database when I'm dealing with this? The way that people have traditionally done this in the past, if they've looked by database numbers, they've said database ID up to 4 is a system database. So you'll often see people saying, for example, if I'm trying to exclude databases like master, people might say, and if database ID is greater than 4, which means everything from 1 to 4 is going to be a system database. Here's the thing. With 2019, Microsoft started subtly putting messages into sysmessages that they're going to allow for replicated system databases, like that you'd be able to replicate master using always-on availability groups. There are kind of hints with this. If you scroll across further, oh, this isn't the one that I wanted. There are kind of hints across if you look at sysmessages. So sysmessages is a great place to go and see things that Microsoft isn't quite ready to tell you yet. So because I want to kind of code this for the future and I want it to work even if there's a replicated master database, I want a different way to do this. So I want it first off exclude databases under 4 for sure. But let's also say or we'll say, if database name is greater than 4, and if name is anything other than master, because I want to make sure that we're not talking about the master database, because maybe somebody's going to put the master database as a higher number. And there's another column that I want to go grab from, but it looks like they pulled it. They either pulled it or it's in a different place. All right, I'll come back to that in some other webcast. All right, so that should get me that'll get me where file name is anything other than master. So this should produce as many rows as I have databases that have a file named master in it. Look at that! Peter Moorfield bought the pocket mug and the merch. So thank you, Peter. I have a merch over on my Twitch channel, so y'all can now buy things like our coffee cup, my hat. I have a hat with the logo, hoodie, the whole 9 yards. And it's not priced to make a profit or anything. I want to say that right now I've got it still set to make $1 on each item. I have to get rid of that. I actually don't want to make any money. I just want to let y'all be able to buy swag, because everybody's always like, hey, I want one of those coffee mugs. And I'm like, you're insane if you think I'm going to have those at my house and ship them to you. But Streamlabs makes it easy to just sell these things. So there's stickers, there's stuff with our full company logo, just the pocket, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. I have a hoodie right over near me. I haven't opened it up. Crouchball says, finally I've caught a live stream. Ta-da! See, I'm actually alive. I'm responding. And Michael says you can't have name is master and anything other than master. So there's a trick with this here. F name is the file name. And Michael, I'm so glad you caught that. Michael, that's actually fantastic. Because I would have caught this in testing, but it would have been a few minutes before I got to the testing part. I actually need where database name is anything other than master. So good job on you for catching that. I also have to do a join. So let's do inner join. And I know Richie doesn't like it when I do inner join. Richie's like, you're wasting 6 characters. Join is inner join. I just try to be really explicit. So inner join master sys databases db on f database ID, not data space, database ID equals db database ID. And then so now it's DB name is anything other than master. Hey, I think I like that. So we might as well immortalize you in the source code. So who was it? It was Michael. Thanks, Michael's3 for catching this. Michael says, why not just use DB name is anything other than master? I guess, what I like about that, why I like about your idea there is if Microsoft does implement distributed, or what do they call it, contained availability groups, and they put master inside there, I bet that function will actually work, whereas the joined assist databases may not. So Michael, I like that, and I'm going to actually do that. Good catch on that one. This is why I live code, so that y'all can fix my code. So let's say DB name for F, database ID. Database ID is anything other than master. All right, so I think that's going to do it. All right, next, in line 56 or 5863, this big long line right here, this is the text details that we show in SP Blitz. And Peep says it saves you a join too. That's true. It also could theoretically help with concurrency. Who knows? Who knows how Microsoft implements that DB name function under the covers? If you ever look at execution plans for that stuff, it's kind of horrifying. So let's put in the text that we want. The database Oh, and it's going to have a database name in it too. This database has a file named master, which can break updates, can break SQL Server updates. And so there we go. I don't even need to say what the database is because the temp table for Blitz results actually has a database name column in it. It's just not inserted here. So whatever the other check was didn't need it. So let's put in database name. And then we'll put that in, right, it was right after priority. So this is, oh, I'll use DB name again. Look at that. I can copy paste that. Copy paste. Boom, as database name. There we go. That should do it. Meow says, does it matter that those helper functions don't respect the uncommitted isolation level? I'm less worried about people creating and dropping databases, like holding locks on those, because that should be kind of quick. But that's a great question. Like, could I see it being a problem? Totally. I'm going to do a Control F for DB name just to see if we've used it anywhere else inside SP Blitz. And it looks like we have. Yep, we have used it, so I'm not worried about using it at the moment. Okay, so let's go back up to 5863. So come back up to here. So he says, is it not logical file name and file name? So the name that we're looking at here is or F name is the logical name. So that's the one that we're worried about. So there, let's see. I got to comment out my sysmaster files. All right, so I think I've got this check written. So let's go try it. I'm going to go hit execute, and the thing completed. Not a big surprise there that it compiles. But let's go back over to our diagnostic window. So this is the script. So for Michael, in case you joined late, the lines 1 through 7 are the scripts that supposedly, I just assume Jeff knows what he's talking about because he's a pretty smart guy, knows that this is the string that SQL Microsoft runs on update scripts. And so see where it says name master. I don't know why it's probably the same reason that I make mistakes. Come on, they're human beings, I guess. All right, so now let's see how SP Blitz works. SP Blitz. And let's just run that, and we'll see. The thing I'm expecting to see is one new line in the output around line 100 that gives me a priority 100 line. Oh, it's funny. I have a full recovery database without log backups. Well, that's true because I just created it. Okay, so here's my brand new, here is my brand new warning. So this database has a file named master, and so it may break updates. Woo! All right, so that's good. Now let's test it by adding another database. Let's make sure to add another. Michael says, is it just your description that says name? Oh, he's talking about my description. Oh, sure. Let's change that. Let's say inside here has a file with a logical name of master, which can break SQL Server. All right, so let's try that. Then the other thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to add another database just to make sure that I get 2 lines in the output because that's how I roll. Eamon says the URL is checking for the logical name and not the file name. The URL is checking for? So I don't know what you mean by that one. I'll let y'all discuss that one out. So let's say line number 2, and then we'll do for our logical file name. We're gonna call. I'm gonna call the log master. Say okay, and then let's go back and run. Let's save SP Blitz too. Let's go back and run our test again. SP Blitz. Let's see what we get. All right, good. We got 2 of them. And it's, no, that's the wrong warning. That's the one about not being locked up. Here we go. So it's, good. And I didn't say it was a data file or log file. Perfect. I try to do as little coding as possible in order to make it work. We are out of here. Um, of course, so the next thing that people are going to ask is, how do I fix it? This is what people always ask. And of course, they can go to Jeff's site, but I also want to give them, if I can give them just a really short version. So let's see if you can rename a log or a logical file easily inside here. If I can right click inside here, go to files, let's see if I can change this. Master, not really, and say OK. It works instantly. Okay, great. So let's add that to our details list as well then. So rename it in SSMS by right-clicking on the database, go into properties, and rename the file. Takes effect instantly. No down. I'm not going to say no downtime required because I haven't done any of that research because that's how I roll. Okay, I put an extra N inside there. That's great. So save. And then execute this guy again. Do, 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 do. It's probably copyrighted. I should probably be careful with singing that. Okay, so let's go down here. Our 100. Oh, I only get one line now because, of course, I already fixed the other one. Beautiful. I forgot to execute it, so it didn't do the new warning inside there. The whole point of this, Brent, was that you were just making sure that it actually worked the way you wanted to, but it won't work if you don't do the alter. Hello, McFly. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. And there we go. 100. Wow. All right. There is our beautifully done new warning, and we are good. All right, so now we got our warning. We've tested it. I only tested it on SQL Server 2019. The way that I usually do my testing is right before I go into the build process, or like making all these scripts, I'll go and combine all the scripts together, SPBlitz, SPBlitz Cache, whatever, have a PowerShell script that Eric put together that just combines all the updates or all the creation scripts into one. And then what I do is I go test that against different SQL Server versions. Normally, I remember off the top of my head the kinds of things that work across different versions and also case-sensitive servers. But I'll just go and test those over in the cloud when I'm done with that. Okay, Joris, I tested it. Did I build any kind of automated testing? Not really. So we've got that saved. I'm going to go close that. I'm going to go over into GitHub. John says, ship it. Yes. We're out of here. So let's say 2352. So now I'm over in GitHub. So let me minimize everything else just to make it clear what's going on inside here. And I should close that text editor too, just since it's a new check. Let's minimize this. So here is our GitHub desktop, where I love just that they automatically highlight the stuff that's different. So they highlight the stuff that changed. Just makes it easy for me to do a quick double check that I didn't change something I didn't expect. So 2352, new rule for master files. New check in SPBlitz. If file has a logical name of master, well, I'll just say warn if file has a logical name of master, closes number 2352. Nice thing about GitHub Desktop is it works on whose machine. That's right. So nice thing about GitHub Desktop or just GitHub period, when you add a note in there saying that it closes an issue and you put the number in and the number sign, it links these things together. So it'll close it as soon as the pull request is done. So I'm going to go publish it. I'm going to go do a pull request and then merge it into the dev branch so that it's available for people to play around with in the dev branch if they want. I'm going to assign myself. I'm going to say that this is part of the current milestone. This is an enhancement for SPBlitz. And there we go. Create pull request. And then, of course, it has not been deployed. It can be merged automatically. Merge. And now the issue is automatically closed, but I like going in there and just giving people a thank you note just so they understand roughly what's going on. Thanks for the inspiration. Inspiration and the link to Jeff's blog post. I added a check in SPBlitz for it. It's in the dev branch now and will be included in the May release along with a credit in the release notes. Thanks. And comment. Now I got to go add this to the release notes. I tend to write the release notes as I go. So let's also open a blog or a window over here for my blog. So this is WordPress for those of you who haven't seen it. WordPress has this back-end editor where you can add, edit posts. And so this is going to be the post for the May release. So it says, hey, we've quarantined all the bugs, many of the bugs, okay, some of the bugs. One of the changes that you'll see when we do the May release is that I now have 2005 versions in there as well, SQL Server 2005 versions. I know, but some of you still have to manage SQL Server 2005, and I just want to be able to have that in there. So there's a really nice watcher on one of our live classes who's had still the versions from 2005, so just added those old ones back in. So under SP Blitz changes, we're going to say improvement, new check, warning about files with a logical name of master that can break SQL Server updates. Number, was it 2352? 2352, thanks. And let's see who it was, Hermholtz. So let's go see what his name is. Open link in new tab. Let's copy the link over here to WordPress so people can see it if they want to get more details about the issue. And then where's Hermholtz? Hermholtz doesn't have his full name on there, so we'll just call him Hermholtz, and that'll be it. Hermholtz. And link to his GitHub profile. And Richie, I am so with you. So Richie and I, as a side note, well, I'll put this in first. I'm also going to link people to Jeff's blog post because I think that that's really cool. So let's say warning about files with a, let's see here, files with a logical name of master that can break SQL Server updates. Let's copy that, paste, and then update this thing. So just as a side note, so you'll often hear Richie and I kind of joking around about unit tests and SP Blitz and SP Blitz first, things like that. I'm a huge believer in unit tests. And for a SQL Server person, that's really weird to hear. You don't usually hear SQL Server people preaching about the amazing things with unit tests. Because unit testing in T-SQL is absolutely terrible. It's hard, especially when you have to fake results from DMVs. You can't override the DMVs. When you're doing unit testing for regular tables, it's very easy to rename tables, drop in new versions of them. But when you're writing utility scripts that go and query the dynamic management views, system tables, system functions like DB name, some of those can't be overridden very easily, so it's kind of terrible. So it's one of those where I would love to have, all code will be rewritten someday. So we started, so this is essentially what the SQL Constant Care is. SQL Constant Care is our kind of monitoring application that fetches DMV data once a day. Well, since we're pulling your DMV data and importing it via like JSON files, Richie can fake your JSON files really easily and go, build scenarios for different kinds of incoming data so that we can test it so that the results will be predictable every single time. This is the thing, if I could go back in time and somehow make SP Blitz more testable, I would have loved to have done that. We just never did it along the way, and now it's just too hard. So really, we tend to put more of the testing type work into into SQL Constant Care. Now, you'll notice, too, it's been 40 minutes since we started this, and I've been going relatively slowly. I'm able to add this many checks and keep enhancing SP Blitz and friends because we don't do things like unit tests. It just makes the code less reliable, though. And, of course, you saw there are like 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 lines of code in there. Who knows what stuff is actually working right now? This is the terrible thing with T-SQL. Okay, so that's one issue. Let's go see what else we find. So that's the first one. I like that, but of course we want to do a whole lot more than that. So let's see what else we get inside here. This one's kind of funny. Okay, SP Blitz first. A monitoring query throws a false alarm about CheckDB running. Here's the deal, if you can read through it as I talk to as well. But so the deal is there are some things that SQL Server does under the covers that if you query system tools like, or system things like sysdm exec requests, SQL Server will tell you that CheckDB is running even when it's not. For example, and I'm going off the top of my head. Well, I can actually click on it. Let me go pull it over here. So I want to say it was a DBCC reindex. There was the command that you can run. Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. If you do alter index reorganize under the covers, it still shows up as DBCC reindex or DB reindex. Yeah, mesmerized by the view. It is a really nice view this morning. So we have sun is slowly rising over there in San Diego. It's just beautiful. It will look less beautiful in like half an hour as the sun starts to come up. It gets less nice. So I've learned more things about SQL Server under the covers just from building tools like this than I probably ever would have otherwise. Who knew that it looks like alter index reorganize is just lipstick on the pig that is DBCC DB reindex? So unfortunately, it looks like there's another function too that is just kind of lipstick on the pig here. If somebody's monitoring tool, I want to say it's IDERA SQL DM triggered this. So when it runs file property from sys database files, it shows up as DBCC under the covers. Wah, wah, wah. Well, in SP Blitz first, which is our performance monitoring check that tells you what's going on a SQL Server right now, like reasons why the thing is slow, in there, I warn you if CheckDB is running, because that's a problem. People shouldn't be running CheckDB during a performance-sensitive period. But this wasn't CheckDB. It's just IDERA or somebody else going and running a query across system functions. So how am I going to fix this? We were just talking about mocking things. Greg says, I ordered a couple of your mugs. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Usually it plays a sound and all that, although it may play one in a minute or two here. Or I wasn't paying attention, one of the two. We talked about mocking things, or not mocking, but that's what the term for making fake system views. I can't make fake system views, and it's hard for me to reproduce fake results of IDERA running on a SQL Server that's very slow due to problems. So the fix that I'm going to do for this is just like shameful. In here, it says, here's the way that I'm detecting that CheckDB is running. Right now I'm saying where command is like DBCC, which is fair, but then also where the text of the command is not alter index, because that's kind of one of the fakeries. Now, okay, look, someone could have one batch that does a CheckDB and then an alter index rebuild, in which case I would hide the command. But what kind of moron would do that? I know what you're thinking, the kind of morons that I work with. Not me, not Richie, he's not a moron. Moron's a strong word. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add one more filter in there looking for file property, because we think that that's the thing that was causing it. So let's go see. Let's find where this is in SP Blitz. Oh, I got to go make a new branch. So let's go to GitHub Desktop. Let's go make a new branch for this new issue. So this is 2350. We'll say go make a new branch, 2350. SP Blitz first. They're making so I have moderations inside the chat inside here, trying to be very protective of insults and stuff like that. So it flagged John Calloway's line, says, hey, you use the term moron. So I had to manually permit it, and it says Brent Ozar used add permitted term morons. So now y'all can freely use the term morons in chat without getting in trouble. Things get better every day. False positive DBCC check. It's not DBCC, it's CheckDB. CheckDB, check, new branch, add, based it on the dev. Yep, there we go. I didn't think dev first. Let me go back and sync dev, fetch origin, pull, and let's go back over to false positive. And so let's go over to let's see, the command of this was that. Let's go over to SP Blitz again. Let's go into SP Blitz. Where the hell did I put that? Let's go back over here. SP Blitz. Oh, come back into here. SP Blitz. And then let's do a find for that. Let's try just a find for this. Oh, it's the wrong script. I'm in SP Blitz, and the problem's in SP Blitz first. So let's go switch over to that. And no. and then go grab SP Blitz first. And then Richie says, I think I hate GitHub Desktop. Yeah, it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. I'll say that for sure. And I got started with it because how do I not have alter index? Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. So here we go. So here's that part of SP Blitz first. I'm just going to add a task, and I know this is going to make you feel dirty. I'm just going to take whatever the text was that triggered the false positive. So in this case, it was file property. So we'll take file property and say, boom. So there we go. Now, technically, this means that if someone was doing a CheckDB on a database named file property, we're going to skip it now. But you know what? It's okay if I skip things in SP Blitz first. I'd rather err on the side of paranoia and not tell people things as opposed to overly tell them too much. So there we go. Let's save that. Let's switch into the master database here because I want to make sure if I test it, I do it in the right place. Execute, and then do, whoops. New SP Blitz first, execute. Now, of course, when I test this, by testing, I mean I'm just making sure that it doesn't produce a false positive telling me that CheckDB is running when it's really not, or throwing an error. I don't have the capability of mocking the system DMVs to produce a bad result from sysdm exec requests. So this is all the fix I'm doing in here in this one. I am shipping it. Save SP Blitz first. Anyone who's watching this is doubtlessly going to be disgusted by my code, and I am okay with that because sometimes it's just about shipping. 2350 SP Blitz first, reduce false positives for CheckDB, skip sysdm exec requests that are hitting file property. Closes 2350. Don't judge me. Commit and publish. Do a request or a pull request. Pull request. And assign myself out of massive disappointment. John Calloway says judging. And part of this for me is, I guess this isn't an enhancement, this is a bug. Part of this is also showing y'all that it's okay to do crappy code, especially in things like open source where you're just trying to help people ship it as quickly as you can. Because having people get any kind of help is better than usually getting no help at all. Richie says this is why Brent doesn't have rights to production, and he is correct. I actually don't have rights to production inside our own code. True story. I mean, I have select rights, but that's about it. So that gives me that one. Let's go look at, close this, ship is greater than beautifying code. Or what's the other one that they say, artist ship. Okay, so that one is shipped. Shipped in the dev branch, will be in the May release. The code is horrific. Life goes on. Life finds a way. YMCA. And there's no other, I'm just brain dumping now at this point. Okay, so there that goes. That one shipped. I need to add that to the release notes. So this is 2350. SP Blitz first, and we'll add another fix. Turns looks like file property was, thank you for the follow there, was showing up as my code is a beautiful flower. Mostly because your code has unit tests, which immediately make them beautiful. A file property was showing up as dbcc in sysdm exec request, causing a false positive that CheckDB was running. Not too sure about this one since I can't test it easily, but if you find an issue with this, holla at ya boy by creating a new issue with what you've discovered. No one ever reads the release notes anyway, that's what I've learned. 2350, so there's that. Paste that link in, and oops. Paste, go. All right, there's that one. Save that. All right, so now back over to issues. You know what I should look at? Okay, so we've been going for like 50 minutes. I don't really need a bio break. This is one of my life. Like I just can tend to just type and go and not take a bio break. And then like 3 hours later, there's a puddle underneath my desk and I'm wondering why. But so let's see. I'll do one or two more issues before I take a break. I should have started by looking at the pull requests. So if I go over to pull requests, we can look to see what other people have put in here that I need to review. So let's go back to the deb branch and pull it just to make sure I've got the most recent versions. Oh, I love this one. Oh, I really want this bad. So add an output type of top 10. Oh, I love this. Okay. So let's put this in a new window and so that you can see the issue that I'm working on, and I'm going to talk through it. In my sessions where I tell people to give me their weight stats, so you might have seen one of my Twitch sessions where I have people post the output of SP Blitz first and I say, hey, go show me your top weight stats. I'm constantly telling people, hey, put this in and not this, like get a screenshot that covers these widths and only show me the top 10 of specific things. Somebody, NR Kirby said, oh, I see you constantly doing the same thing. Why don't I make it easier by adding a parameter for that output? Because what SP Blitz first usually puts out, if you do SP Blitz first since startup equals 1, it gives you your SQL Server's top weight stats. And I'm always, during webcasts, I'm telling people, okay, I need you to take a screenshot from this corner, like our sample, over to average milliseconds, and I need you to get the top 10 rows. And I put this little thing up on the screen and I say, make your screenshot look like this. We're going to automate that, so this is the only set of results that comes out. And this way I can just tell people, take a screenshot of what's on the screen. So I love this in terms of a fix here. So let's see what he submitted in terms of a fix. So in order, I love github.com. That makes it really easy to do stuff like code reviews when things are fairly tight, when there's small changes. So all I have to do to see what this person did is go over to Files Changed, and then you get this nice diff right in the web browser showing what they added. So here they've said if, and I'll maximize it out just so I can see it here, if output type equals top 10, SB ask Brent, and the URL still calls it that too. So if output type equals top 10, then go dump this stuff out here. Does this look safe? This looks pretty safe. Okay, so I like it. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to say review changes. Looks good. Thank you for your commit. And then that is approved. Submit review. Ta-da! Let's go add this. So I will say that NR Kirby is assigned. The milestone is this one. Label is it's an enhancement for SP Blitz first. Let's go merge it into the dev branch and then let's go test it. So we've got this added. Now let's go back over to that issue just so that we can type stuff into there. Now the way that we were going to do it was we said output type, and I want to say that's what it was, top 10. Let's go see. So what this should do is it should only produce the top 10 weight stats since startup. Okay, so there's a little bit of a gotcha. He assumed when he coded it that the person would also be passing in since startup equals 1. That's okay, we're going to fix that. Okay, so, and it still doesn't work. Okay, so I didn't get something exactly right. Let's go back to his code. So what did he say? If output type is top 10. So let's go back and take a look at his code then, because I don't think it, I'm such a moron. We'll see if y'all can figure out what I did. So why, as I went back through, why, when I run it, is it not doing what NR Kirby just checked in? Let's see if y'all can figure it out.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, now I don't feel stupid because none of y'all caught it either. Yeah, no, Dwayne caught it. Okay, yes. Yes. Forgot to pull the origin. I forgot to go get the guy's changes. So NR Kirby made changes. I got to go get his changes, and then I got to actually set them up on my SQL server. It's not enough that the cloud has the latest code. I actually have to put the latest code on myself. What a moron. So SP Blitz first, although I don't feel too bad because it was only Dwayne is the only smart viewer inside here. The rest of y'all, not so sure about the rest of y'all. So let's go put it into production. I pulled the latest version down now, and I'll go execute the alter so that this thing is now put into production. Now let's go run it with just top 10. And I'm kind of thinking that he probably didn't code in this part because I don't think that I was really expecting it to either. Okay, so what this did was it got your top 10 weight stats right now in a 5-second sample. I don't really want to do that. I kind of want it to assume that if you put in top 10, it's going to get your weight stats since startup. So I'm going to make one tiny change. And Ninium said back from BioBreak. I like that. That's pretty good. That's good. So I want to have a hard code early in SP Blitz first. If they set output type equals top 10, then I want to set since startup equals 1. So let's code that. So let's start a new branch in GitHub for that fix that I want to go do. So let's say we're going to call this B2342 SP Blitz first top 10 new branch and create it. And then so this is 2342. Let's say right near the beginning of SP Blitz first, when we're validating their parameters, let's go check a few things. So let's find out where we start doing checks for right here. We've got some talking about output type. So let's put it in right here. Well, we'll put it, there's a log message section. I'm going to skip that. No, let's do it up there. Okay. So we'll say if output type equals top 10. Actually, let's just do, just in case it's case sensitive, if upper output type like top percent, because I'm just going to assume that it's anything that's related. So what I was going to try and do is take out the space in case somebody goes top space 10, because I always assume that users are going to be, I was going to use the term morons, but since that was kind of frowned upon by the chat bot, I should probably not use it out loud, so I'll say intellectually challenged. So if output type is like top 10, set output type equals top 10. Then if output type equals top 10, set since startup equals 1. Just going to automatically override and only set it so that it calls wait stats since startup. That works. I think I like that. Let's try that. Execute, and then let's go run it again with just top 10. Perfect. All right, good. Except there's not a lot more than 10 inside there. If I'm only going to give them the top 10, then I should probably restrict that too. Let's go fix that as well. So let's go find where he put top 10 in at. Top 10. So here we go. It says if output type equals top 10, here's his select. Let's just add. All right, there's that. And execute. And then let's try again. And that's beautiful. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Yay! Perfect. So I'll take that. Well, you know what else I kind of want? No, I'm going to stop there. All right. So save. We ship that, and then let's go back over to GitHub Desktop, check in our changes. So 2342, SP Blitz first, top 10. Only gets top 10 weight types, sets since startup equals 1, also accepts top 10. Closes 2342. Commit, publish the branch, do a pull request. Carudo says sound stopped working for me. It's working okay here, and it shows that sound is going out. working okay here. May need to refresh your browser. So we'll let that go through there. Yep, people say it's okay there. Tell your mom not to unplug your stereo while you're doing the streaming. So why did I say that? There's no need for that. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to assign myself. This is an enhancement for SP Blitz first. And then this is the milestone of this, the May one. And so that's done. Create the pull request. And this is why we can't have nice things. Merge the pull request. Confirm the merge. Delete the branch. And then, so that's good. So awesome. Did he put his stuff inside the issue? Yeah, so NR Kirby was the same person who did the code and who wrote the issue. So we just credit everybody. Karuta says, I refreshed and I'm now working. I don't know if you're really working. You're sitting around here watching Twitch, but I could be, at least then you're not putting bugs in your production code like I am. Whee! So this is built in. So I'm going to say, great, thanks. Merged into the dev branch, and it's this 8-track. Merged into the dev branch and will be in the May release. And I'm the mom. That's pretty good. I like that. That's good. You in the release notes. So comment, and then let's go over here and say, improvement, output type equals top 10. Jedi Mind Gorilla, you are welcome. My pleasure. Yes.
Right on.
Now outputs the top 10 weight type since startup in a screenshot friendly way. So when I'm doing Twitch streams analyzing your weight stats, I don't have to give you as many instructions. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very cool. Thanks, Jedi Mind Gorilla. Instructions. So this is number, what was it, 2340, I think it was. So this is 2342. So 2342. Thanks. I almost said Jedi Mind Gorilla. So let's say thanks NR Kirby. Let's see if NR Kirby has his real name over there. I always try to credit people by their real name if it's in their GitHub profile. But then if it's not in their GitHub profile, even if I know the person, I try not to do it just because, it could be Nick Kirby. Okay, cool. So thanks, Nick Kirby. So there we go. And keep you in here and paste, and there you go. All right, so I think that's that. Okay, perfect. I love it. So let's save the draft on that, and then we will make sure that I've got the most latest synced branch over here. And then I am going to go grab some coffee before I continue. So we'll take a short break, say like a 5-minute break, and then I'll come back here and continue coding through there. It wasn't like a product plug. I just find myself, I usually hold my mug to my mouth as I sit there and do my thing. That's cold and disgusting. So I will throw some music on. I will be right back. I'll see y'all back in here in 5 minutes. So let's see here. right, so the sun is starting to come up here in San Diego as we enter hour 2. So let's see what we're going to go do next. I have a sip of my tasty beverage here, and then off we'll go to the races. Let's see what the next issue holds for us. Let's see here. So I fetched the latest branch. When last we met, we had looked at a pull request. Let's go see if there's another pull request out there. So Nick Kirby's pull request is wonderful. Let's see what else we got inside here. There are 3 of them on SP Database Restore. Now, here's a... Richie says, tell Erica when she wakes up that Merkel okayed German soccer to restart. So Erica has this very passionate feeling about what's going on with soccer right now because Erica spent a whole lot of money, like I'm going to say approaching $1,000, on a set of tickets for an English soccer match during BITS. So when we were supposed to be over there for sequel bits, there was a UK soccer match. She spent a ton of money on tickets. You can get a refund, but only if they cancel the match. And they postponed the match. And so she's eagerly awaiting to see what happens with the scheduling of the match because we can't go over there now. It's not like U.S. people are welcome. But the ticket scalpers are basically saying, well, sorry, if the game's here, you have to attend it. Your tickets are good. I have super bright light coming in on a couple of these windows, and I know it's going to screw up my green screen at some point. Well, screw it. We'll just keep going. All right, so let's see here what we've got. I said there are 3 pull requests here for database restore. I'm not actually working on database restore at the moment. It's not something that I have set up to test. I don't use it as part of my daily job. We wrote it a few years ago for Tara Kaiser, originally wrote it for Google, and then other people started adopting it. So if you use SP Database Restore, you're welcome to go in there and do some testing or whatever. I'm just going to warn you that I've even got notes in here on 2 of these pull requests that I'm like, someone has to go through and test these. So I'm going to actually put a note on one of them because one of them says testing needed. I'm going to go ahead and edit this other one as testing needed too. Testing needed, just so that folks know if they want to go in there and help. And then also there's this one that was new. Greg Dodsey added this one 13 days ago. I'm going to go see what this is because the headline doesn't look that bad. So let's go see what he changed. And I'm not testing that. It's probably not that big of a deal. It's just that because I'm not set up for testing it at all, I really hate putting something into production, changing it until people are okay with it. So I'm going to rename this one as testing needed as well. Testing needed. And then I'm also going to mention something in the blog post for the First Responder Toolkit. I've had a note in here for a while about SP Database Restore. It looks like I haven't put it in for this release first. So I'm going to say SP Database Restore fixes awaiting your testing. Users have contributed 3 changes, improvements that need testing before we can get into the dev branch. Caruto says, have you ever been this awesome fun? I think you accidentally a word. I learned that from Jeremiah Peshka, and it still just makes me laugh every time. Hey, I think you accidentally a word. And I was like, wait, oh, tricky. Oh yeah, it wasn't just a match. Yeah, it was a very expensive match. Oh yeah. Get them into the dev branch. If you can test these by downloading the code and seeing if they work in your environment, please leave a note on the issue with your thoughts on it. And if a user or 2 agrees that they're production worthy, I'll merge them in. And then I'll just do a list of those 3 issues inside here. So we'll say heading 3. I'm not going to waste your time by typing in all of them in front of you. I'll just go do that. I'll put in ASDF. I'll go do that whenever I do the merge release. So we'll save that draft. We'll come back over to the pull requests. There was one other pull request. Looks like Jerry Hung did a pull request for SP Blitzwho to display the job name. Let's go see here. So he says replaced job ID in program name with job name from MSDB instead. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. So if it's an agent job, he's automatically appending the job name instead of the. Oh, I love this. So what SP Blitz Who does, SP Blitz Who is like Who is active, except it just shows more stuff from different columns and different DMVs, like live running execution plans by default. So this actually looks pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and I'm going to give that the thumbs up, and I'm going to merge it into the dev branch. Then I'm going to go take the code and run it on my own server, test it. We'll just go see if we can reproduce it. So let's say great, thanks. Merging into dev and approve, submit, and then let's go merge it. And then I will set this as a milestone for this month. And I will assign Jerry Hung because he did it. So there's that. Labels, it is an enhancement for SP Blitz Who. Come down a little further in here. Ooh, there it is. So that is merged. And then let's go look over at the issue itself. Oh, it's a little bit older one, 2328. So he's going to do this on SP Blitz Who. All right, great. Let's go look over it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test SP Blitz Who without his fix. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an agent job, or I'm going to use an agent job that does a backup or a restore, and then I'm going to run SP Blitz Who and see what it shows. Nope. So let's close that. Let's close you, and we'll start a new query. We're going to say, all right, it keeps popping me into line number 2. I hate it how Management Studio does this. If you have a database highlighted in Object Explorer, it automatically assumes that all your new queries should start there. That's not what I want. I want my new queries to start over in like master database or whatever my login's default is, whatever. Let's go get rid of those just because we're here, those 2 databases with master in the name. No need to keep those around anymore. And then let's go start a new query, and we'll say SP Blitz Who. Nothing's running right now, so nothing shows up. Let's go run an agent job to restore databases. I have a database job that takes quite a while in order to run to go restore the Stack Overflow database. Let's kick that little fella off, start at step. And let's run SP Blitz Who now, and let's see what the program name says. So the program name says SQL agent, I'll get out of the way, SQL agent job step, this is what he's trying to fix. He wants to show the real job step name. So now let's go take his code and let's see how his code performs. I merged it into the dev branch. So now I can go open it inside Management Studio. Blitz Who. That's the wrong script. Blitz Who. And then copy you. I'm pasting into the wrong place. Get your ugly bottom over there. Okay, I see how it is. Let's just do open. ctemp first responder kit. The way that I should be doing it anyway. Instead of dragging and dropping. What kind of psychopath does that? All right, so now we got SP Blitz Who. Let's try SP Blitz Who again and scroll across to the side. And dun 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 dun, it says the agent job's name is Restore Stack Overflow Hero for the day. So that's fantastic. That looks good. Let's go ahead and credit him in the release notes. So let's say SP Blitz Who changes, improvement. For agent jobs, the program name column now shows the agent job name. Number 23, what was the number? 2328. 2328, thanks, Jerry Hung. So let's go paste in the issue number and link to his GitHub profile. Jedi Mind Gorilla, I'll answer your question here in a second. So let's do that. And then Jerry Hung, copy and paste over here. So link to that and paste. Come back. What? Why did you not copy? Copy and paste. There you go. So we got that. Let's save that and let's credit, or let's say thanks to him. Great job. Works merged into the dev branch. Will be in the May release with credit to you in the release notes. When you say remove the service broker transactions, I'm not doing it. You are welcome to do it. This is what open source is all about. This is why I'm showing you this stuff so that you can go in and then make these kinds of changes, which is a nice thing to say too. If you go to the First Responder Kit repo, there's a thing in here around contributing. You can click on contributing and there's instructions to get started. So your name can be in lights in there as well. If you don't want to do it, the catch is that you just have to either be ready to, thank you, Gareth, I appreciate it. So yay! You just have to be willing to do the code yourself or else get someone else to do the code for you. I wouldn't bother for a service broker just because I don't use service broker, but someone else might be able to. So now there was another question. Jedi Mind Gorilla said, my apologies. While I'm glad this is the topic, I followed an email about SQL job Q&A. How long is this training? I'm in for the duration. So I'm going for 3 hours for today. So I'm working between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Pacific time is what I'm kind of aiming for. But it's just however long I feel like live coding today. The job Q&A you've already missed. Those were over. Those were last week. So I tend to do different things on the streaming channel. I mix it up all the time. Okay, Jedi Mind Gorilla says, awesome, I try to catch all your live stuff, which is, I should just say, a shout out to folks like Eamon who have the live class season pass too. So you get to watch me do even more stuff. Jedi says, the email today was job Q&A. I don't know what you mean by the email was. You may need to see more about, like forward the email to me. I don't know what email you're talking about. And I'm not denying that it was there. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So let's see, that brings us to all the pull requests are caught up. So the pull requests for database restore are done. And now, or the pull requests for database restore are still waiting. Frozen Sweet says 5 a.m. is more of a time, or isn't a time, it's more of an illness. Eamon, I said that for service broker, you would need to code that. If you go to the code thing, and then you go over to contributing, it's got information on how you can contribute stuff to the First Responder Kit. I just don't use Service Broker. I don't have any clients who use Service Broker, so I don't code on it. So, oh, Jedi Mind Girl said it was a Twitch email. Oh, funny. Okay, so when I went live, Twitch didn't take the title change correctly, and so I had to go back in and manually hit the title. If you hit refresh on your Twitch window, it'll show the current title. He says exactly. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know they sent out emails, so that's kind of cool. I'm so new at Twitch, it's not even funny. Like the sheer number of things I don't know is just incredible. And Richie does keep wanting to point out that Service Broker is of the devil. It was one of those things where I get that it was a good idea, but then they just didn't put any work into it. They just kind of walked away from it. And I'm like, if Microsoft isn't willing to continue fixing stuff, I'm like, All right, so let's look at the next issue that we want to pick out of here. What do I want to do inside here? Let's see here. Okay, so one of them, this person said slow speed on Azure managed instances. So over in Slack, a friend of mine from Europe said, hey, when I run SP Blitz Query Store on Azure managed instances, I get really slow performance. And in working, if you read through the release notes, we kind of narrowed down that it was a problem specific to his environment. And I don't use SP Blitz. Michael says you just have to remember to rename before you go live. Well, see, the thing is with tools like Streamlabs, OBS, and OBS, they automatically change the title for you when you start broadcasting. That's the part that didn't take. So it's, to try to use automation as much as I can instead of manually running around and doing stuff. But yeah, it's wild. I'll totally check into that though for the next one though. So this guy, Camille said he's got these issues around slow response time on Azure managed instances, and he was digging into it further. We don't do any troubleshooting on Azure SQLDB and Azure managed instances just because I don't have clients using them. I am a huge believer in Azure managed instances and Azure SQLDB Hyperscale. I think those are amazing. I don't have the time to test everything on those two, and they cost money to run them. They don't have like a developer edition that you can use for free. So basically, I'm at the mercy of other people doing code on that. So he says, and Camille says, I'm not going to spend time on the issue if y'all already did. Is this something where Microsoft can help? So I'm going to go ahead and close this. But if y'all want to revisit it, maybe with Microsoft's help, you're totally encouraged to. But instead of y'all, it's really Camille. But Camille, if you, and I'm gonna make sure that I got his name right because it would really, yeah, perfect. Okay, good. You're totally welcome to. That's the word I wanted. Totally welcome to. I just don't technically support these on Azure SQL Star because I don't run them in myself. There we go. Close and comment. And back over to the issues list. What else we got? Oh, this is an easy one, so I'll go do this. So one of the training class students, whenever I do training classes, I use SP Blitz Cache, Blitz Index, whatever. One of the training class students pointed out that one of the warnings didn't have a URL. One of the warnings about not being able to find a plan for this query. And I've gotten this question a few times, and I'm like, oh, I know the URL. I always copy paste in there. I just need to add this to SP Blitz Cache. So this is an easy one. I'm going to knock this out in 60 seconds, and I'm not even going to describe what I'm doing as I do it. So there's a warning in here. We couldn't find a plan for this query. Let's go do a new branch and a new, whoops, not paste, new branch. And it is 2347 SP Blitz Cache, add URL for warning. New branch is based on create the Brent branch. And then let's go pop open SP Blitz Cache, SP Blitz Cache. And then we'll do a find for the warning. Couldn't find. What the what? Oh, because it's double apostrophe. Couldn't find because it's in dynamic SQL. There we go. Set warnings. Okay, that's fine. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, so there is a. Oh, that's interesting. So it's in the results. Okay, so SP Blitz Cache. I'm going to fix this in 60 seconds. Moron. So SP Blitz Cache has two result sets, the top set and the bottom set. He's referring to the bottom set here. This is where when we couldn't find a plan, we'll inject a warning into that line. Now, I don't think he told me what the warning was. So this we couldn't find a warning. Let's say possible reasons. Let's maroon. Oh, I like that. That's a good point. Jedi Mind Gorilla. Thank you. That's excellent. So let's see if I can find it with this. Possible reasons. Yes. No, because that's still just dumping out. So that's not it. That's not it. Where are we doing the warnings? Oh, maybe there isn't a warning for it. Oh, there probably isn't a warning. Oh, there's not a separate line warning. Shoot. There's not a separate line warning. He's just referring to, damn it, this isn't quick. Oh, no, it's right there. Oh, how lucky is that? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so this is, here's the thing that he's talking about in terms of the warning. So I could just put the URL up there. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a short code for the URL that I want. So where's this thing that we couldn't find a plan for this query? Possible reasons. No, possible. Here's the warning that I need to do. So here I'm just going to add inside here. I'm going to say possible reasons. Or I'll say more info on possible reasons. More info on possible reasons. And then I'm going to give them a URL, https brentozar.com. I kind of like uppercasing Brent. brentozar.com. Go, no plans. Now let's go see if I don't know that I have that URL set yet. Let's go put it in both of the places where this warning was, because there was another place where the warning was possible. That's not it. There we go. Nope. That's it right there. Possible reasons include, okay, more info. We'll say more info on possible reasons. On possible reasons. Okay, perfect. Eamon says, I think it's better to put it in the second result set. You, sir, are welcome to do it. So if you want to do it, if it's important to you, you can totally open a pull request for that code, but I am going to rock and roll my way through getting it done this morning. So it's sad that, I wish I could do everything perfectly. I wish that I could pull that off everywhere, and it's just so hard with, you want to get so many things done so quickly. So I've made the change to the code. Let's see what SP Blitz Cache puts it. Yep, it put it there. There we go. So now I got to go add the URL. So now you'll get to see how I add those short codes. If I go to tools redirection. Redirection is a WordPress plugin that lets me do those Go codes, lets me add Go URLs with links to different places. So I'm going to say, look for no plans, make sure I don't already have one. Perfect. So we'll say we'll add a new link, go no plans, and then the link that it's going to go to, Tara Kaiser no plans, SP Blitz Cache site, dba.stackexchange.com. Tara Kaiser had asked a question about this on Stack Exchange. She said, what are the reasons for a plan to be missing from the cache for stored procedures? And so there's a nice good contents of the question here, and there's an answer that was written by a brilliant young gentleman. So this gives the reasons why we wouldn't be able to find plans. So perfect. Let's copy this out and put it in over here, paste. So we now have the redirect done. That's done. So now it'll take them over to Stack Overflow. We have changed SP Blitz Cache. I will close that. And then let's go over to GitHub Desktop and put in our changes. So update SP Blitz Cache. This is number 2347, SP Blitz Cache. Link for no plans, add link to go no plans when the plan is missing from cache. Closes number 2347. Commit and publish the branch. Do a pull request. Pull request. And I am assigned, it is, I guess I'd call it an enhancement, whatever, out of SP Blitz Cache. Milestone is this month's release. Create the pull request. And merge it. And delete the branch. And he's off. So one of the things that is really interesting about GitHub is they have the ability to automatically run tests against your code if you want. We looked at doing that, but it's just kind of a pain in the rear when we want to do tests across lots of different versions. You have to get AppVeyor set up with all kinds of different versions of SQL Server. Kind of a pain in the rear. Okay, so we've got, if anybody out in the field would love to help with that in terms of getting AppVeyor set up for continuous integration on the first responder kit, I just would want to see like some kind of resume that you've worked on continuous testing with AppVeyor for the not for the first responder kit, but just CI/CD or CI type stuff for SQL Server if you want to do it, and I would pay you to in terms of being a contractor as well. Richie has left the chat. There are a couple of community pros who do this kind of work full time, and they're like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Even for money, they didn't want to do that. So I'm like, oh, I get it. Continuous integration looks easy, is hard, is not enjoyable. Okay, so Jedi Mind Gorilla says I'm still writing code in crayons. So thanks for the bug report. Fixed, added a link to HTTPS, Brent, Ozar.com, go, no plans. No plans. And comment, we'll put it in the milestone for this month. And then label, we'll call it an enhancement for SP Blitz Cache. Assign myself, and then add that to the release notes. Copy that issue. So SP Blitz Cache, when a plan isn't found in cache, like due to dynamic SQL, or I'll just say, just when a plan isn't found in cache, include a link to this DBA stackexchange.com question to, so folks understand what's happening. What could have caused it? What could have caused it? This is number 2347. Thanks. And I'll go get Patel's name. Paste. And then we'll say, here we go. This is AJ Patel. AJ Patel. And copy you. And paste. And where's we'll go get to hit the link, brentozar.com, go, no plans. I don't even want to think about how many seconds that was. I'm like, oh, I'll do this in 60 seconds. Yeah, right. This question, this is the fun of development, paste, and off that goes. All right, so we've got that one added. Now let's see here. Let's go see what else we can do. What's going to give people more value out of this issue list? What's going to be kind of a big win? I want this really bad. Famous last word. This will hardly take any time. And then it's, all right. I want this one really bad. So over here, SP-Blitz cache, add a free plan cache command in the default output. So what this is when I teach parameter sniffing classes, I'm constantly having to tell people, if you want to free something from the plan cache, you need to use dbcc free proc cache with its plan handle inside of parentheses. And you can see that in SP-Blitz cache, but only when you run expert mode equals 1. If you don't run it with expert mode equals 1 and you go all the way off to the right-hand side, there's a SQL handle and a plan handle, but there isn't the free proc cache statement. If I turn around and run this with expert mode equals 1, and then I scroll all the way across to the right-hand side, I get this. Remove the plan handle or remove the SQL handle from cache. What I want to do is add one of these to SP-Blitz cache's default output because it's something that'll just help the training process as I'm teaching people how to fix parameter sniffing issues. Now, which one do I pick between SQL handle and plan handle? I'm going to leave that for the class. For me, I'm just going to go remove the plan handle from cache. So this is what I need to do. I need to go through the output for SP-Blitz cache and add this column to it. So let's go see what we got inside the source code for SP-Blitz cache. Let me start a new branch over in GitHub. So let's go dev branch, go get my latest changes. And then let's start one for 2346 SP-Blitz cache. Add free plan cache column and create a new branch. Richie said, boo this man. All right, so we got, oh man, I should tell y'all something too, because this is kind of funny. So right now, in my office, it literally stinks. There's something in this office, and it's not my code, I swear to God. But like an hour before we went on camera, I heard a whole bunch of police sirens down there. I'm like 30 floors up. There were a whole bunch of police sirens down there, and I went out and looked, and there was like an ambush of like 10 cop cars. And I'm like, oh, they're finally coming to arrest me for my crimes against T-SQL. But I don't know what it was, and they were down there for like the whole time. They're down there right up until I started the webcast. The sirens were off, but they were just kind of surrounding an area, not near my building, or near my building, close enough that I could see it. Well, I didn't think that much of it. I'm like, there's a sorted population around here. But over the last hour, the stench has become crazy. So I walked out during the bio break. I'm like, oh my God, I must have forgotten to take out the trash or something. It's not inside the apartment. It's outside. I have no idea what's going on down there, but whatever it is, it smells terrible. I don't know if it's like a grease trap exploded. It's disgusting. But it's just amazing to me. I'm like, I'm inside this place. Thank goodness there's no smell-o-vision here, so y'all can't smell it. So back over here in this, so we're going to add 2346 SP-Blitz cache Add column. Bartholomew, I completely agree. Add column. So this is, let's go see what the name of this column is. So the column is remove plan handle from cache. So let's copy that. Let's go open up the SPBlitz cache code, and let's do a control F for that and go see what that is, see how they coded it. I say they because I never really code much in SPBlitz cache. It was mostly Jeremiah Peshka originally wrote it, who now works for Redgate Software over in the UK, and then Eric Darling took over after that. And those two are really XML query gods, whereas I am an XML query moron. So I tend to just do really low-end work in SPBlitz cache. So here's the thing that I want to go do, remove plan handle from cache. So I'm just going to copy paste that out. Then I need to find the place where we're doing our normal output for SPBlitz cache. I'm going to make the text on here smaller again, just so that I can see, because I think I'm kind of close to it. Nope, it's not. It's the create table. Jor says a god, not the god. Oh, this is actually a computed column. So all I have to do is copy the column name. Oh, this is going to be easy. So let's go find that. So here is, what is this code here? What is this? Set columns equals. So this is returning expert mode. Okay. So where's the regular mode? Okay, if expert, all right, I'm going to zoom back in so y'all can see better now. So if expert mode equals 0, so here I know that we're doing an output that's saying raise error display or raise ROR displaying analysis of plan cache. Good, I think that's near the end. We're down around line 5,000. And so it's returning the output. Let's go down and I'm just going to add it as the last column. So let's say boom, boom. All right, and then let's go see, execute, and let's run SPBlitz cache again. And I'm not going to run it with expert mode. I'm just going to run it plain old normally. Let's scroll across to the right, and oh, I am a god among men. Now, just because I added the column doesn't mean we're actually finished, because I might have broken other output methods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say sort order equals all, because I know when you run SPBlitz cache with sort order equals all, it runs SPBlitz cache across all of the different sort methods and then combines the result into one. And just as I kind of expected, an additional column broke that output. Hee hee. So let's go see what their error is. And I bet the error is related to, yep, get a load of that little fella right there. Column name or number of supplied values does not match the table definition. So I'm going to have to fix that. So let's go look and see what the, it says returning expert mode equals 0. So let's go look in the code and see. I bet it has to do with sort, whoops. We'll say sort order equals all. I'm going to do a single quote for all just to go see what this thing's doing. So it looks like it's declaring a temp table. Perfect. So it's inserting into a temp table. I need to go find the column definitions for this temp table, and I need to expand that new remove proc handle from cache column. So, oh golly, and the thing, it's got spaces in the table names too, spaces in the column names. So it was like remove plan handle from cache. Let's go see what it was. Let's run SPBlitz cache without the sort order equals all. Let's get the exact column name just so that we can use it. So it is remove plan handle from cache. Let's copy that out and here we go. Let's add him in. So I'm going to have to do that everywhere where we're doing an insert into the temp table. So I'm going to just copy that line and I'm going to reuse it everywhere that we do that. Paste and paste. Meanwhile, Richie's like getting hives. Richie's like, I hate saying people's names whenever I'm on a webcast because I realize that I'm probably interrupting them and taking them out of their zone. So that's kind of trashy that I did that, but whatever. Paste. Man, it stinks in here. It's just terrible. And that one, paste. And so I got one more column I got to go add in there. Richie says, I'm just listening to Beastie Boys. It was that new Apple movie that got you, right? I still have not watched that because Erica heard that and she was like immediately bailed out. She was like, no, I don't want anything to do. She's like, I didn't like Beastie Boys. And I'm like, well, marriage is all about compromise. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Oh man, here's another one. Geez, it's still going. Remove plan handle from cache. Copy you. Golly, oh, there's more. Who wrote it this way? Remember how earlier I was saying that code doesn't really matter when it doesn't need to be elegant. Tony says it had embedded spaces in the column name. That's absolutely true, and I didn't say this out loud, but because when I'm doing the insert, the column names don't have to match. The insert statement just says insert into this temp table exec the results from this stored procedure. So as long as the number of columns match and their data types match, I'm going to be good. And I purposely didn't put spaces into there because I didn't want to have to bracket that column name all over the place. But good on you, though, for catching it. Let's see here. So there's that guy. And come further down. You. Earlier I was talking about how, the quality of open source code, is like, look, anything as long as you get it shipped is better than nothing, right? And well, this is one of those examples where technical debt, of course, comes back to haunt you when somebody decides to code it this way, and you end up doing all this manual work to go through and return the data. Okay, so I think I got all the inserts. Now I got to find wherever we're defining that temp table. So wherever we're defining this thing, let's go add the column name inside there. Here it is. So insert table into BOU all sort. And then in here, I'm such a moron. I'm such a moron. So when we did the first fix, the first round, when I did the original, that column was a computed column. Originally, that column was a computed column. Instead of copy pasting that new column in every single insert, no, I did. Okay, never mind, I did, because I had to handle the additional column coming out of the disregard. Okay, I'm a moron, but it's okay. It ended up working out for me in the end. So now I need to know the data type that I'm going to use inside here for remove plan handle from cache, whatever that thing is called. So we named it this guy over here, remove plan handle from cache. So what is that thing going to be? I know it starts out with dbcc free proc cache, so I'm just going to say unvericar, let's say 100, just to say. And let's see if that works. So let's execute, and then let's run sp-blitz cache with sort order equals all, and see if it works. Drum roll. I need to add a drum roll to my soundboard. Problem is I'm trying to find a drum roll that's like works in the way that oh, come on now. Well, it got further. I can now scroll down a whole lot further before the errors start. That's progress sometimes, right? Oh. Remember how I said nvarchar should be 100 characters long should be enough? Maybe it's not. Let's try 200. Oh, you know why? Because when it's NA, when it's not applicable, I remember there being a really long error message, and it says something like, we couldn't find a plan for this query. Possible reasons include blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I bet maybe that's it. So let's go for nvarchar 200, and then let's see. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. And do. Okay, string or binary data would be truncated again. All right, so I got to go find out what's going on with that. I think I might have my columns out of order, maybe. So let's go back and look at where we're doing that insert. So here's the thing to remember. So Richie says, having sabotage play in the background makes this website so much better. I can't stand it. Look, in terms of looking at my T-SQL. Joris said the script failed at the baseline. It's all about the errors, no treble. So the insert that we're doing has these two columns at the end. So I'm going to copy those and I'm going to paste it out just so that you see them over there in the Twitch chat. Now, when I go down and I look at all those fixes that I just did, I think I might have put the remove plan at the end. So let's go see. Let's go see. Let's go see. Not the selection. Find it in the current document there, Speedy. Okay, so it is. Here's the stuff that we're inserting. You suck. So remove plan handle from cache is showing at the end. So it says insert into all sorts. And then way at the end, I have set options, then remove plan handle from cache. That should work. That should totally work. So here's the insert is set options and then remove plan handle from cache. What happens if I just run SP blitz cache? Isn't remove plan handle at the end? It is. So we have set options and then remove plan handle from cache. So that's in the right, I'm even naming column names. Remove plan handle from cache. Okay, so let's see. Paste. Oh, it's longer than I thought it was. Okay. All right, we have a fun bug here. This is fun to troubleshoot. What this is, do you remember how the first time that I executed this? The first time that I executed this, I had nvarchar 100, and I said, oh, this might be longer. I need to make that column longer. So if you look down at the bottom right, and I'm gonna move my cursor around just so you can see it moving. But down at the bottom in my status bar, it shows you the size or where I'm at here. I'm like on column number 112. So there are like over 100 columns inside here. I needed wider than nvarchar 100. So I changed the temp table's definition. But the temp table won't get recreated if it already exists. Dun, dun, dun. Because that temp table is a global temp table. No, that temp table, I'm not sure. Let's go see. I have a hunch that temp table still exists, and that's what's screwing me. Let's try drop table. Actually, let's recycle the instance. Let's go recycle the instance just to make sure that will clear all the temp tables. I have a script that goes through and clears all of SP Blitz Cache's global temp tables, but I'll just go ahead and restart this one just in terms of quick troubleshooting. Oops, I remember I'm not supposed to do that. That's copyrighted. Okay, so that should have worked. Now let's go try. We'll try SP Blitz Cache just by itself. I love Management Studios. It's so funny. The connection is broken and recovery is not possible. No attempt was made to restore the connection. Oh, okay. And then I'm just going to run it again. And it says, okay, I'll work now. Henrik Stein says, could you not just refresh the connection? I'm pretty confident that these are actually global temp tables under the hood. Like there's a global temp table that's getting created, and there are other temp tables that are also using it as well. John, you have a very good point there. Very, very good point. Okay, so here we have, we couldn't find a plan for this query. If I go all the way across, this worked beautifully. Now let's try it with sort order equals all. Please work, please work, please work. Come on, buddy. I could go over to the messages tab too and just, yes, it was the global temp table, yes. The reason why I really know that is because in the consultant toolkit, In the consultant toolkit, we have to clear the global temp tables for some of these. You can run into problems when you have different versions of SP Blitz Cache running at the same time because they will create different versions of the global temp tables. Okay, so that worked. Yeah. Let's also see though, because if I go all the way across, yes, I also wanted to make sure that we got remove this plan handle from cache, so we're good. So this works. Now let's also try expert mode. So expert mode equals 1, just to make sure that I didn't break it. And then I'm going to try one other thing. I'm going to try outputting it to table. So this also works. Now let's try one other thing. Output database name equals, what database have I got over here? DBA tools. Output schema, bye John, adios. Schema name equals DBO, and then output table name equals Blitz Cache 2020-05-06. So let's go, whoops. Let's go execute that. So what I want to make sure is that it actually writes to table correctly. I'm not going to try to add this as a new column in the table because I don't want to break anybody's existing result sets. Let's go see now. Let's say select star from DBA tools, DBO, Blitz Cache 2020-05-06. Oops, 05-06. And execute. Perfect. Okay, good. That worked. And I don't expect to see a new column over here. Oh, it's because I already put the sort on there. Okay, cool. Yossi says, can you give a quick overview of the project you are working on? Yes, absolutely. If you go to firstresponderkit.org. So firstresponderkit.org is our SQL Server first responder kit, where there are all kinds of scripts to help you maintain SQL Server. Okay, so we have started there. SP Blitz Cache is all sorted. So now let's go check that in. So let's go over here and let's see here. So here's SP Blitz Cache. Here's our GitHub issue. I've got to do better on setting up all my different like robot-y type stuff. I'm fairly new on Twitch, so I've got, like those of you who do like bang commands for robot type stuff, there's a very limited amount of stuff that I've got configured up in here. It's one of my things where I have a life bucket list. I want to get better at doing Twitch. Okay, so now we've fixed that issue. Now let's go check our changes in. So it's on 2346. Added remove plan handle from cache column to default output, closes 2346. All right, there's that one. Commit, push it, hops, push it good, and do a pull request. And then we'll go update our release notes. So I am assigned, it is an enhancement to SP Blitz Cache. And then the milestone is this month's release. Create the pull request. And that is done. Let's go merge the pull request, confirm. And that will close the issue. Now let's go over to, delete that branch. We'll go over to our release notes for the blog post and we'll add that. So improvement, default output now adds the remove plan handle from cache column that used to require expert mode equals 1. Makes it easier to teach how to fix parameter sniffing issues. Number 2346. Golly, that smell in my office. This is just, oh, it's not 23. Was it 2346? Yeah, 2346. Yossi says, you can set your repo to auto-delete the branch after the PR is merged. Okay, cool. I'm going to go do that. Let's go figure out how to go do that. So let's go link that, and then let's go save that in the blog post. And let's see. All right, so how are we going to do that? Let's go into settings. Let's see if we can find it in settings. And it is branches. Let's see, branches, branch protection rules. If you know, Yossi, if you know where that's at, Yossi, if you know where that's at, let me know. I don't see it off the top of the thing. Oh, you know what? Let's just Google for it. Why am I asking? Oh, he says add rule. Okay, let's go add rule. Joris says, I'm not a fan of the auto merge stuff. And of course, Joris doesn't manage too much in the first responder kit, so I'll go ahead and do it. So branch name pattern, I don't really care about that. I don't see anything inside there. Yossi says, Dev, you have to specify the branch. Okay. Dev. All right, then what? Require pull request. Nothing shows up in here that seems like it matches. Oh, maybe I just hit create. Let's see what it say. Confirm password. Oh, come on now. 1Pass. And then GitHub. And copy. And paste. And then, so branch protection rule, dev, protect matching branches. Yossi, I don't think that that's what this actually is. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't seem to do what you're saying here. So I'm going to say whatever that is, branches. And if you have a link to it, he says, sorry, settings, options, and scroll to bottom. Oh, actions. Okay, so that's something different. And that's okay, Yossi. I love you anyway, whoever you are. Setting actions. So scroll to bottom. It's not a runner. Enable. All right, so Yossi, I'm going to leave you. He says options, not actions. Okay, options. And then scroll to bottom. Merge. Hey! After pull request, you can have head branches deleted automatically. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. And then I hate it when people don't have a save button. When I just, I click the checkbox and you just hope to God that it's actually saved. I'm going to go over to branches and then I'm going to go back over to options just to see if it actually took. And come down here. Looks like, yep, good. Okay, so it's checked. Woo, we'll try that with our next one. Thank you, Yossi. I like that a lot. That's very cool. All right, so let's come back over to, we've got that one. So we solved that one. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, well, I'll let y'all choose to see if anything, oh, Michael said, I think you placed your improvements text under the wrong command. Oh, I probably did. Yep, I sure did. It's I said, oh, and that's one of the other ones. One of you else said something about, oh, Michael, you just put it in an earlier comment, and I didn't quite understand what you were saying. This actually is under SP Blitz cache. So let's cut that right there. And then let's add it down here, paste. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And then save that little fella, save. Okay, so let's see. We've been going for like another hour now. Let's see what we should do inside here. I really want to do the Blitzlock one. I just don't think that I can do that in the hour that I have left before I need to go bail and I have to start a client call this morning. So I'm going to skip that one. The SP Blitz cache, should we warn about lots of use single-use plans? Oh, I'm going to give him an answer inside here. So he says, Jedi says, related to your stored procedures, but kind of not. What do you say to people still using standard maintenance plans and not these? Well, I don't do maintenance plan type stuff. Like I don't do index rebuilds or statistics updates. You're thinking of Ola Hollengren's maintenance scripts, which is ola.hollengren.com. And here's my thought on that. If you don't have a full-time DBA, if all you have is people who just kind of accidentally manage SQL Server, I prefer maintenance plans. I think everything is Brent. I'm okay with maintenance plans for people who aren't full-time scripters because I only want you to put something into production that you can actually troubleshoot yourself. I love Ola Hollengren's maintenance scripts, but you do have to troubleshoot them. And to give you an idea of what I mean Jedi says I use this to find out why. Well, so in here, if I search for GitHub Ola Hollengren, Ola keeps his stuff inside GitHub too as well. But when you look at his maintenance solution, and I'm going to copy paste this out just so for those of y'all who haven't seen it. When you look at the issues inside here, there are 172 open issues on Ola's maintenance scripts, and there are 19 open pull requests, some of them going back for 2 years with things that are known to be broken in Ola's maintenance scripts. I get a little bit nervous because in here, if you will find bugs, and Ola isn't quite as fast at fixing bugs as some of the rest of us are with our open source projects. I get it. Ola has a job. Ola has a full-time job, and he can't afford to sit around and live stream with y'all like I do fixing bugs. But just know that they may not be as rock solid as built-in maintenance plans are, so I actually prefer maintenance plans for people who can't do their own T-SQL troubleshooting. I used to be a bigger fan of Ola scripts. I'm like, everyone should just use them. As soon as I talk to you, you should start using these. But they are buggy enough that I'm like, So, all right, so coming back over to this. So Eric says, should we warn about lots of single-use plans? He says, I think there's already some logic in SP Blitz about single-use plans. It might be good to surface that here. I like this, but he says, yes, he's ready to build the code, so I'm going to give him the thumbs up. Yeah, I agree. I can see it as a priority 1 warning in the second result set, just because we also flag short plan cache history there too. Go for it. Thanks, sir. So I'll assign Eric there, and then we'll call this an enhancement to SP Blitz Cache. I'm not going to set a milestone for it because whenever we do it is great. That's cool. And I'll go back over to the issues list. Generally, anything that someone else can code, I'd rather leave for someone else to code, just because that way it makes the project more scalable. Next one down, SP Blitzlock, XML parsing, semicolon expected, solution included, slashes as an extra bonus. So if I go down in here, I've actually read through this, and so he's got a statement or a link in here to his own code. And Eric looked at the code and he said, is this happening because you've had odd characters somewhere in an object name? I took a look at your fix, and running replace on a whole bunch of XML could be pretty painful for a localized issue. So I'm not actually going to put his query or put his changes in there. I'm just going to say, John, can you speak to Eric's question? Thanks. Comment. I will categorize the issue. So I'm going to assign John and then put labels in there for bug for SP Blitzlock, but I'm not going to put this in. I'm not going to like it. There's no pull request, so I'm not going to take the code yet. I'm going to edit his title just because I'm not too wild about yelling and banging around inside here. SP Blitzlock error when parsing XML, when XML parsing, possibly due to strange object names, and then save that, just so that it's a little bit more obvious to folks when they scan through the headline list. SP Blitz indexes, that one I'm not sure that I can get done inside the span of an hour. I'm not going to touch that one easier. Blitz cache errors on specifying a database in Azure Managed Instance. I might be able to tackle that one. Okay, so what he says is execute this on a managed instance, which I don't have. I'm just going to read his thing and see if I can figure it out. So with the database parameter set to a different database than which is hosting the script. The script should work. I can't say that if I can say that if I comment out the lines that raise the exception, the script executes as expected. Okay. The code that checks is, this is easy then. The code that does the checks is if server property engine edition is in a list. I think there's a separate engine edition property for Azure Managed Instances. Let's copy this out and go see. Let's go see. I think Microsoft's done a pretty good job for this. Oh, it's like Engine Edition. Engine Edition. Here it is. Here's the list. And what I'm hoping for is that there's a separate one for managed instances. And there is. Yes. So he's saying that Crazy Tech says, good to see you again. Thank you. My pleasure. Good to be here. He's saying that if he comments this out, it works on Azure Managed Instances. Well, if I'm just checking Engine Edition, that means all I have to do is remove the 8 from the check. That's a piece of cake. So let's go do that. So he says there's a code that checks it if server property Engine Edition is in 5, 6, and 8. I just got to remove the 8. I'll totally do that. I don't mind removing code. Removing code's kind of easy. So let's go fetch the dev branch, get our latest changes. Let's go do a new branch for 2353, SP Blitz Cache, managed instance, and new branch. Go for it. And then let's go open SP Blitz Cache. Let's close out of our stuff here. Close, no, close, no. Let's go open SP Blitz Cache. We will look for that string. There it is. Okay. So you specified a database name other than the current database, but Azure SQL DB doesn't allow you to change databases. Well, Managed Instances actually does. So all I have to do is remove the 8 for Engine Edition, and our work here is done. I'm not even going to bother testing it. I'm just going to simply close it and call it a day, rock and roll. Not call it a day, but call that issue a day. 2353 SP Blitz Cache, Managed Instances, skip checking Azure SQL DB managed instance, closes 2353. Commit, publish, do a pull request. Golly, I love fixes like that, especially when I don't test them, because that's how I roll. So that's done. Assign yourself. This is related to Azure, so I'm going to check that box. SP Blitz Cache. Crazy Tech says, what programming language is this? This is T-SQL, Microsoft T-SQL, which is for SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. So create the pull request. And so that's done. Let's merge it, confirm, and delete that. Oh, now we get to check to see if the auto delete works. Oh, yes. Thank you for, who was it that suggested that? I got to go scroll back up and see what his name was. Yossi, yes. So Yossi set it up to automatically delete that branch. Awesome, Yossi. Thank you. That's very cool. So there's that one. Now let's go leave a note in 2353. Great, or I'm not going to say great. Fixed, and by fixed, I mean I just stopped checking for Azure SQL managed instances, and it just runs anyway. No guarantees on compatibility with, did I misspell compatibility? How the hell did I do that wrong? Compatibility with managed instances. Is, of course, like we say on the home page of the repo, we don't actually support Azure SQL DB of any kind, just because Microsoft changes the DMV contents without warning and without documentation. This will at least get you started, though. So comment. And then let's go add that to our monthly release notes. So this is 2353, SP Blitz Cache, fix, allows installation on SP Blitz Cache, on Azure SQL managed instances. Remember, though, we don't support anything in Azure SQL DB or managed instances just because MS can and has changed the DMV contents without warning and without documentation. If it works, great. If it doesn't, getting compatibility is left as an exercise for the reader. 2353, thanks, Agent Nipe. And then I should also thank Eric Darling, too, because he did the track down work inside there. So let's go copy. Let's see, let's put him in here. So who's Agent Nipe? Whoever he is, geeky for me. Okay, all right, that's cool. Agent fighting for sanity. Oh, that's an interesting URL. Just as a side note here, like, so the big aggro, I guess, things inside avatars. This is something that I'm always curious with Twitch is like, how can I build a more friendly profile and all that? Just because I'm not a gamer, I'm not really into like player versus player killing each other. It's not that I don't like games. I do. That's just not what my stream is. It's very friendly and upbeat. So Agent Knipe and Eric Darling. So there that goes. Copy, paste, and there we go. Jedi says that one is freaky. And I don't know if you're talking about Eric's. Eric's is the one with the drinking with his skeleton. I love that one. That one's pretty funny. It's very Eric. Okay, so yeah, Eric. And I don't know if it goes bigger when yeah, that's pretty funny. So let's close that. So good. We're down. I think we've knocked down 5 issues this morning. We've been going for a little while. Okay, so let's take a short break. We'll take a 5-minute caffeination and bio break. We'll take a 5-minute bio break, and then when we come back, I'll continue live coding on this and finish out the hour. So I'll see y'all back here in 5 minutes. right, so there we go. So we are welcome back. I am now going to get back to live coding on the first responder kit and close out the hour. About 36 minutes left before I got to go parachute out and go do my day job, quote unquote, now that it's actually like daytime out. So let's go back over the issues list and let's see what we have to choose from. So coming down, I can probably only get in one, maybe two issues depending on how long they go. So let's see what we got inside here. So there's that SP Blitzlock error we talked about. SP Blitz index fully qualifying database names on drop and create indexes. I do kind of want this. Okay, so let me show you what it is. I'm going to switch back over, so I'll copy paste this into the link over in Twitch so that y'all can see it in the chat. What this is I tend to do a lot of consulting work for clients doing index tuning across an entire server. They'll say, here we go, here's a SQL server, it's got 50 databases on it, go make everything faster as quickly as possible, go. And one of the things that I use is that I use the output out of SP Blitz index, and I'm going to go copy paste it out so that you can see what I mean. SP Blitz index get all databases equals 1, mode equals 2. This is a super useful output for SP Blitz index because what it lets you do is copy paste this whole thing into an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can do index tuning disconnected. This is how the consultant toolkit works. The consultant toolkit takes the output of this, dumps it into Excel, and then without even connecting to a client SQL server, I can go through here and slice and dice and tell them what index changes that they need to make. The way that I do that when I'm disconnected is that I'll go and sort through by this column, like total reads. I'm looking for indexes that have no reads, but that are constantly getting updated. Those are just slowing your database server down and not making it go any faster. I'm also sorting by the number of rows in the table, descending, because I want to go find the largest objects and go start asking tough questions about why we have them. And I also sort by reserved megabytes, how much space the object is using up. And then I ask tough questions there as well. Well, way over on the far left-hand side, there's a database name. And of course, the more databases that you have, the more output that you're going to have in here. That's helpful. But what I also need is when you come way over here to the right-hand side, you see how there's a drop column and a create column, and there's no database names on these. I want fully qualified object names because I want to be able to just generate a T-SQL list of commands for clients to run, saying, here's a bunch of drop index commands, go run this. In case all hell breaks loose and you have to roll it back, here's a stack of create index commands that you can run exactly as is. In the past, up until, well, now, I've had to manually put in database names or group things together by database. I want to make my work a little bit easier. So I want the database name directly injected inside these. I know I've got the data because as I scroll all the way across to the left, there's a database name column. It's just a matter of injecting the database name in here inside drop T-SQL and create T-SQL. I don't know how those columns are created. We're going to go find out. So the columns that I'm looking for, just to have them up inside a text thing that's nearby, I'm going to say is called drop T-SQL and create T-SQL. I'll put those over in the Twitch chat just so that I can cop back and forth between those two. Then let's go create a GitHub branch for that issue. So let's switch back over to the dev branch. Let's get the origin. Create a new branch for this one. So, whoops, there we go. 2357, SP Blitz index. Index, fully qualify. Wow, I've been typing for too long. Things are getting rough. Names for drop and create. New branch, go create the branch. And then let's go look for inside the T-SQL. Let's see if we can track those down. So let's go pop over to here and let's open SP Blitz Index and see what she has inside. So I said that I'm looking for two columns. I'm looking for drop T-SQL and create T-SQL. Let's do a control F in the code for drop T-SQL and see what we find out. Okay, so we have, this appears to be creating it from a table mode CTE. Let's scroll up a little and see what that says. Oh, well, I could also just do a search for this, drop underscore T-SQL. Let's see what's inside there. Maybe it's aha. Okay, so I don't think that's what that is. I got a little too excited there. Here we go. Okay, so here's a part of the query that's generating drop T-SQL. It says when it's the primary key, then put in this alter table, and it's got constrained schema name. It just doesn't have database name. Okay, so we found at least one point where it's at, line 2361. I'm going to write that down over in the chat notes as well, just so that I can come back to that. Now let's keep searching for drop SQL. I want to find how many places this is at. So that is just pulling it back. That doesn't appear to be it. Let's go back up to the top. This is a table with the output. That's a table with the output. This might be the only place that it's in. So what's this doing? So here I don't think this is really, well, let's go see. Okay, so let's see. Does it have database name inside here? Does it have database name? It does not have database. Okay, so let's look at that in these temp tables to see if the database name is inside the temp tables. Let's go find index sanity. And let's find where we create it. It's going to be way back up closer towards the top. So control F, index sanity. All right, here is the, there is a database name. So I may be able to just pull that straight out of there. So the column's called database underscore name. Let's go back to line 2361. Surly name says, what does quote name do? Here, I'll show you. Select test. Well, actually, I'll declare, let's just start with that. So if I do select test, I get back test. If I put in quote name test, it automatically frames whatever I'm putting in there with square brackets on both sides. This becomes important when you start to do things that will break, like SQL injection. If I put in here Bobby tables, or whatever that I want to put in with drop spaces, minus, create table, anything like that, quote name will just frame the whole thing. If I put in dbo.sales, ta-da! That also works inside a single bracket. It's not doing what you would think is bracketing each piece of it. It just really frames the whole thing. You're trying to do things like protect from SQL injection. Because technically, SP Blitz Index could be a victim of SQL injection if someone, he says I could use that in my create T-SQL script that writes a script that searches a database for values. Yes, because it's really useful if some yo-yo puts spaces or periods in their table names, Unicode characters, whatever. So this looks like we've got this alter table right here, drop constraint. I don't know that, so with drop constraint, I don't know that I really want to. Let's try it though. So let's put in quote, let's do the same framing that they're doing, and we're just going to add in the database name. So let's see here. Let's say quote name, database name. Oops, why did I put that twice? All right, so now we've got that inside there. Let's do the same thing for the drop index. So drop index is this piece right here. All right, so I think that's going to work. Execute. So we're in master. Let's go put this change to SP Blitz Index into production, and then let's go run SP Blitz Index again. I don't know if this is, my goal is that it's going to put it in here under the drop T-SQL. I don't know if it is. I'm doing just a rapid fire shotgun kind of approach here. Let's go execute it and go see what happens. I don't know that the code that I changed is used universally throughout SP Blitz or SP Blitz Index, but here is where I was hoping that it would be. Clearly, it is not. Okay, so that's not quite so good. My guess is that there's one piece of code for get all data or for mode equals 2, and I bet there's another branch of the code for the other default options for SP Blitz Index, like doing its health and psychosis type analysis. Let's go into a database with objects in it. Oh, get all databases equals 1. Should have triggered it. I guess I don't have anything that's broken right now in that database. We'll just say SP Blitz Index table name equals users, because I think I have duplicate indexes and whatnot on. I do? Okay, good. Now, here. Hello! It's here! Okay, so we found this part of the output. That isn't really what I wanted to fix. However, because we have it, let's go test it and see if it actually works. Because one of the things that you learn when you're building commands, especially dynamically, is that SQL Server doesn't always accept fully qualified database names. Thank you, Age Monkey. SQL Server doesn't always accept fully qualified object names in some of the stuff. So let's try the alter table. It works. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I'm going to hit stop. Let's try the drop index. That does not work. So what I did was I said database name or period. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's not. You don't put the database name in front of the index name. Brent, what kind of person are you? How dare you live stream without knowing what you're doing? So let's try fixing that first manually over here. Let's put the database name over where it's supposed to be, and let's run it. That works. So if I had the database name in the right place, that would work a whole lot better. Thank you, CloudHawk. So let's go back over to SP Blitz Index and let's put the database name in the right place. You moron. The moron is me, not CloudHawk. So let's cut that out. Cut you over here. I'm going to cut you. Let's cut you right there. Bigfoot SQL. Oh, very nice name. Thank you, Bigfoot SQL. Now let's put this on in the right place. Can't believe that I did that. So now I think I have it in the right place because now I have drop index schema index name on database name period schema name. Okay, that looks a lot better. Let's put that into production and then let's go run it. Let's try it again for the users table. Scroll across. So this over here on that's not what I wanted to double click on. This over here is what I wanted to fix. Surly Dev says, I think your six-figure dev podcast interview will be the next episode released. I remember they told me, I want to say it was March 18th or something. I forget what it was. I'm like all over the place in terms of podcasts right now. I'm also on Run As Radio in, I think, June. Don't quote me over there. May 18th. I have no idea what month it is. This is what quarantine. I was supposed to be in Iceland all of March and then some of April. And it just, of course, as soon as the quarantines hit, I'm basically, it's day 6,000 of being at home. I love being at home. I have a great home office set up and all that kind of thing. But okay, so we've added this database name inside here. Let's see if that works. So it's got this drop index, execute, beautiful. So we fixed it. We just didn't fix it in the part that I really care about. We didn't fix it in the part where it's mode equals 2. Now I will say I also ran it with get all databases equals 1. Let's try running it for just one database with mode equals 2. And let's see if it does the fully qualified object name over there. Nope, still doesn't do it. So I got to find the code that's responsible for this part, for mode 2, for this drop T-SQL. And so let's come back over here. Let's do a control F again for drop T-SQL. Bigfoot says, other than the smell. This is true. It does. The smell has gotten marginally better. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but I stuck my head. We have a balcony. I stuck my head out the balcony and it, God. Surely this, what are you selling that's coming out soon? You know what it is? It's not what I'm selling as much as what other podcasters are selling. So it turns out that there's an incredible demand for podcasts right now because so many of y'all are staying from home. So many podcasters are being inundated with requests from their advertisers and sponsors saying, please do more podcasts. Plus, the sponsors can't spend money on in-person conferences, and they got to get that marketing message out. So there you go. So if y'all want to get onto podcasts, now's an excellent time to go do it. All right, so drop T-SQL. Where's this thing at? So I started looking there. We got drop T-SQL. I got to that one. Let's see what else we get. Is there another place? There's another place. Aha! There's another place. This one appears to be Dynamic SQL. Surly Dev says, what podcast do you know that need to learn how to be surly? Probably any SQL Server podcast. SQL Server podcasts are usually interested in hearing from developers. And if somebody just did a podcast, Josh the Coder. If you search for Josh the Coder, he just published a blog post with a list of podcasts. I'm going to copy paste this out here. That would be the place that I would go to find a list of podcasts to go ask if they want a guest. So that's some good stuff. All right, so let's come back over here. And so here is what looks like our culprit. There's another thing that's generating the drop T-SQL. Aha! So let's put it in here as well. So it was alter table. Then I've got this schema name that I got to put in. Copy, paste. Boom. And this is database name. Then we also have down here, we have this one needs to go over here. So this is right here, quote name. And it's not on, it's just this. Oops, nope, let me do this. It's drop index plus an on. And then plus quote name, it's not schema name, it's database name. This is no longer that. Plus, that should do it. Quote name, database name. Whoopsie! That's not correct. I need to. Peter says this is unreadable. Welcome to Dynamic SQL. Oh, God, so terrible. Okay, so I think I've got that. That's just, and we're still at just the drops. We haven't done the creates yet. So let's go see. Let's close that out, and let's see if that does it. Let's try SP Blitz Index mode equals 2 here. Andy Leonard points out that I was on his podcast, Data Driven, as well. And I love the URL because it talks about one of the jokes that I talked about inside the podcast. The joke is, what do you get if you play country music backwards? You know, there are all these memes around what you hear when you play like Pink Floyd backwards or the Beatles backwards. What do you get when you play country music backwards? You get your wife back, you get your truck back, you get your dog back. All those things that country music songs are always about. I lost my dog, I lost my wife, all those things. Instead, you get all those things back. Isn't that cool? So now we ran with SP Blitz Index mode equals 2, and what do we have here? Oh, you know what? I changed it. I don't know that I executed it. I don't know that I put it. Yeah, I did put it into production. Execute. And let's come back over here and run SP Blitz Index again. And just to make sure that I didn't get it, I still don't have it. Maybe it's in Get All Databases mode. Let me just make sure I don't have SP Blitz Index inside my Stack Overflow database. Oh, I did. I had SP Blitz Index inside the Stack Overflow database too. Oh, I had it in 2 places. Oh, what kind of moron was I? When you drop a proc, it drops it in master? Even if I don't even want to go there. There are only so many things I want to solve in the last 18 minutes of this live cast. So wherever it was, I still haven't found it yet. So let's keep continuing going back in there. Let's keep continuing going back in there and look for drop SQL again. So drop T-SQL. There's another one. Is that another one? That's another one. Another one. So as, of course, Richie is over there laughing now. So here's another one where I got to go change it. So let's go add it over here. He says, count them all. The problem, 1, 2, 3. So let's see here. He says, so that the end isn't, so I can see that the end is in sight. That's true too. So you, and then this is database name. Whoops. And then let's add this in here as well. Copy, drop index, you, paste. Perfect. All right, execute. Now let's go try it. Hit me maybe one more time. Big money, no whammies. And it's there. Woo! Okay, good. Now I'll try for all databases too as well. Let's make sure that that works. And we have it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's just lovely. I'm so happy with that. It's going to save me hours worth of work. Now let's do the same thing for creates. And now that we know it's in like 3 places, we can just mentally go in prepped for that. So y'all are all in all over the emojis. That's fantastic. Oh, I should put something in there too, just because it's been a while since I put one inside there. I'm not going to put one inside there. No, I'm not. I'll stop there. Okay, so now I know at least how bad it is. I've got to change it in like 3 different places. So let's do it for the creates. The create T-SQL. Now we can have a cup of tea. Yes. Almost. So, oh, create T. Oh. Create T. Okay, so it's the same. What? Huh? Create T-SQL. Huh? There you are. Create index. And then we put the names on. Where's the table? Where's the name of the table? It's right there on statement. What the hell? Statement? On statement? Why would you do that? On statement. Get the hell out of here. On statement. Oh, because that's a computed column. Oh. Oh. What? That's really wild. So it looks like our create T-SQL is built on create SQL. Here are the names of the columns. And then it says on and statement. Statement appears to be, I'm going to guess the name of the combination of database name or schema name and table name. Let's go find out. Because this is a computed column is where this is. This is a computed column on the missing indexes table. So now I got to go find what we're putting into statement. So I'm going to do a control F for missing indexes in order to go see what's populating the statement column of missing indexes. So here we go. Here's the insert into it. What are we putting in for statement? What the what? That's actually a column in a table? Are you kidding me? In missing index details, that's a column in the table in the system DMV? That sounds bizarre. SQL Server, paste. DA Chicken says, are you not looking for a 4th instance? No, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. My original goal was only to do it in mode 2, and if it works in other modes, great, but I'm kind of like, that's cool. So wow, what is the statement column inside here? Statement, name of the table where the index is missing. What the hell? I can't believe that Microsoft actually does that. That's kind of amazing. Let's go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go build a missing index in order to see what happens. So let's go write a query that's going to go produce a missing index recommendation. Go select star from DBO users where display name equals Brent Ozar. Let's go get the estimate or the actual execution plan for this, go run it. I want to make sure that this query actually produces a missing index request. It does. Okay, so go 50, just to have it run 50 times. Then Jedi says, so this would this be a table where an execution plan reads where a missing index may help? Yes, exactly. So let's say select star from sys, boom. And what I'm looking for here is I want to see what the statement column has in it. I'm going to guess that it's not a fully prefixed object. No, it is. Oh, it even is a fully prefixed object. So we might be lucky enough that the create might have it in there. Or Jedi Gorilla says, hey, I got something right. So wow, maybe the create T-SQL does already have it. That's kind of amazing. Let's go see, or maybe we're ripping it out later. Let's go see what happens if I look at the create index statement. So let's go copy paste out one of the create indexes. No, our create indexes do not have it. So somewhere we're stripping out the database name. Who does that? So let's go see where we're doing it. Let's say create, so this is where it's inserting into missing indexes. Let's scroll down and just see if we're deleting anything out of missing indexes. Doesn't appear that we are. We're doing joins, that's all fine. Cross apply, that's all fine. All right, so let's go see. I'm going to go do the create SQL again. Create. Okay. So the thing that I just learned about missing indexes, this is how I said that the statement includes the fully qualified name. In SPBlitz index, the results that we're looking at here, these are not missing indexes. These are existing indexes. Aha! So maybe wherever we're suggesting missing indexes, that might actually be fully qualified. That happens to be mode 3. Mode 3 will give you a dump out of all of your missing indexes. If I scroll out across to here, look at what we have here. Okay, that's good. That is fully qualified. That just doesn't help me. I have a separate problem. I need mode 2 to be fixed. So wherever I was in here and I was looking for the create T-SQL, I just found the wrong place. So let's continue looking. Create T-SQL. Updating index sanity names with sort order types for create T-SQL. All right, so let's continue looking. This is just setting column types. Create T-SQL as create T-SQL. Let's look to see what else we find. Create T-SQL. Create T-SQL. Okay, so it looks like, aha, index create T-SQL. Index create T-SQL. Let's go see what that is. Where do we populate it? Where do we populate it? Oh, okay. So wherever we're doing the insert into it, see how it says insert or index create T-SQL, and there's a column called create T-SQL. Let's go see where we're populating this at. Here we go. All right. So if I say alter table, so here we go. Alter table, quote name, schema name. There's our person. So it's right here. Here we go. Might be multiple places. Don't break my heart yet. I'm trying to get out of here in 9 minutes. So let's go add that. Copy. Paste. And then I'm going to need to add period. And you. And whoops. You. And this is database name. All right, so there's one. I bet there's more because that's an alter table. That's for the primary keys. Down here, just a little bit lower, there's column store indexes. I'm going to be good and add that in too, even though I hardly ever need that. Let's go throw it in. Oh, that should have an N in front of it there because we're trying to work Unicode here. So let's copy that out. Copy. So paste. Get you just right. Database name. There's that. All right, so there's that. What else do we have? Create index on. Here's another one. Another one. Copy this out. Copy you. Copy. And then paste. So let's say quote name, database name. Database name, another one where I don't have the N's in front of there. These are Unicodes. You don't really want to play around with that. That can backfire later. So there's that one. Let's see if we've got any more down here. That looks like it. Okay, good. Let's give this a shot. Let's go put it into production and then go run SPBlitz index. Come on, baby. Let's scroll across. And what do we have over here? I see database names. I see database names. Let's go test it. Let's go copy these out. Oh, I don't want it on the post table. Let me go on a smaller table here, though, because these are kind of large tables. I want to go down to a really small one. These right here, copy. Okay, so here are the recreation scripts. So the recreation scripts, I'm going to take out the comments. They don't actually work on, how come I'm not, there we go. They don't actually work without you commenting things out because we have some hard-coded things inside here. I'm not going to go into that just because I want to ship out in time to go hit my client today. So let's go see if this works. I'm going to have to drop indexes for this to work. Drop index, drop the existing index, copy, paste, and drop the index. Okay, he works. Now create it. Yes. Okay, the fully qualified creation one works. Booty Cake says, I'm so violent hitting clients with large hugs. So that one works. Adding a constraint, I don't know that that's going to work fully qualified. Let's go find out. I'm going to have to drop the constraint first. So copy and paste. Drop constraint. Let's drop it so that we can go add it back in again. And then, oh, damn, that's not quick. What's going on there? I thought that was going to be a harmless. Oh, that's post links. Oh, post links is huge. I think it's post types is the one that, let's drop the one on post types. Types, let's try you. Yep, okay, so now let's try you. Copy, paste, copy, paste. My goal here is just to make sure that I can add them fully qualified. I can, slam dunk, we are out of here. So let's close this. Nope. Close. I'm going to run it with get all databases too, just to make sure that it doesn't explode. So then scroll across and look at my create tables now have fully qualified object names as well. We the best. All right, so save that and close it. Let's go check her into GitHub. So let's come back over here. Jedi Mind Gorilla says, awesome training. You are welcome. So let's see here. The GitHub issue that we're going to go check in is 2357. So 2357 SP Blitz index, fully qualify, drop create scripts, fully qualify, drop create scripts for easier multi-database performance tuning. Closes 2357. Commit. Publish, do a pull request. Now, what I haven't done inside the span of the last 3 hours, now it's not like I'm rushing to hit it exactly 8. My client call starts at 8:30, but I just like having a little bit of wiggle room there so I can go read the client's files, make sure that I'm up to date. So I'll talk again here in a second after I create this pull request and get ready to shut this little fella down. So let's see here. This is an enhancement. It's on SP Blitz Index. It is for this month's milestone. Go create that. Michael says, thanks for a perfect training day. You are absolutely welcome. Glad that y'all liked it. So that pull request, merge it, confirm it, backflip it, reverse it, and then go over to the issue and make sure that I've got that in the milestone. I do. Let's go update our release notes. So to talk about SP Blitz Index. So now improvement mode equals 2 now includes fully qualified database names for the drop and create T-SQL so that you can do easier index tuning with the consultant toolkit, fully disconnected, and send clients recommendations that they can execute faster. Number 2357. So let's copy that. Whoops, over here, whoops, paste, and save that, and off we go. All right, so now I'm going to come over to talk like big picture for a minute. So in the span of the last 3 hours, those of you who sat in for all 3 hours, you saw me knock out, I don't know, maybe like half a dozen issues. There are a few pull requests inside there. What I didn't do, I only worked on SQL Server 2019. I didn't work on a case-sensitive issue or instance. I didn't try SQL Server 2008, 2012, cloud stuff, all kinds of things. There are a lot of things that I didn't tackle yet. I still have to bundle all the scripts together to do a release. I have to do a release of the consultant toolkit. I have to update the blog posts. I have to push things out to Slack, all kinds of things. So it gives you a rough idea of the level of work that goes into working through some of these issues. I also like just people seeing how I work through and what the quality of work is like. It helps for you to see that people who are doing open source work are just like you. We're just all back here just slinging code as fast as we can in order to make people's lives better. But it's not like we're building rocket surgery level code out here. It's not like I'm working on the Linux kernel. I'm doing some fairly straightforward stuff. So that recaps our episode for today, and you can look for, I'll do the release this afternoon of the First Responder Kit, and I'll have a blog post out about it tomorrow morning. That blog post that you saw me working on with the changes, that'll go live tomorrow morning along with the updated First Responder Kit. So hopefully y'all had fun. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, and I will see y'all later. I'm not sure when my next stream is. If you go to brentozar.com/training or we'll see here, brentozar.com/training/live. I'll put that in on the link too, just so that y'all can see when my next stream is. I'll do Twitch streams next week. I'm thinking about doing How to Think Like the Engine live with the only demos, like not doing any slides at all, just only demos. Surly Dev says tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tomorrow I have a special case. Tomorrow I basically have to sleep half of the day. And you're like, you're really jealous, right? Well, no, it's because I give a training class in Sweden. I think it's Stockholm, remotely, of course, online. It starts at midnight my time. So the class starts at midnight and rolls through 8 a.m. And I've been gradually shifting my sleep schedules a little earlier. So I'm basically been sleeping from 7 p.m. till midnight just so that I could shift more towards that. Richie says, oh, Brent. Yeah, very fun. All right, well, thanks a lot, and I will see y'all later. Adios, everybody. Thanks.